business moves fast. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Piazza Auto Group Studios, experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Free speech lives here. The WPHT Afternoon Show.
Yeah, it's a 4-hour Farash Friday. Yep, it's a 4-hour Farash Friday. Turn the radio loud. Shawn's in the studio, firing up the crowd. Shawn Farash, yeah, the man's arrived with pork chops, broccoli, and chaos in his eyes. Oh, it's a Farash Friday like the studio door. He's got props in his hands, so stay tuned for more. He's got pork chops, broccoli, and a macaroni tie. WPHT 3 to 7, he's doing it live. He leans in low with a Trump imitation. Frankly, 1210 is the greatest in the nation. Farash Friday, turn the volume up high. Laughing through the madness while the hours fly by.
3:10 p.m. here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Shawn Farash with you as we roll into Memorial Day weekend. Shout out to the great Newman Price for for that custom intro. Great to be back here in the afternoons, taking you all the way to 7 o'clock as we roll into Memorial Day weekend. There's a lot that we're going to be getting into today. The Democrats' 2024 autopsy report. I had a good time looking at that over the last, let's say, day or so. Tulsi Gabbard out. I heard the resignation. I thought, uh-oh, here we go. Some more drama potentially, but not really. We wish her and her husband well. Apparently her husband has been diagnosed with a very rare form of bone cancer. So we obviously keep that family in our prayers as well. Give her some space. It's obviously you're going to deal with the internet, people, speculating about all sorts of things. It's one of those things. It's going to happen. People are going to talk and float theories out there. And it just, when it comes to things like this, Kyle Busch, the whole nine, I would, kind of prefer, and I think it would be better off if we just kind of let it play out and let these families go through their, whatever, if it's grief or, situations that Tulsi's in, just let them go through it as easily as possible. There's no need for all these distractions, but Gabbard out. And I will start with Kyle Busch. I'm a NASCAR fan, and I wasn't this isn't to say anything bad about Kyle, but I wasn't a fan of his, on the track. Not that he was a bad driver, he's a great driver at all levels of the sport. But, he just wasn't my cup of tea. Obviously, though, what happened yesterday, the news that broke yesterday about Kyle Busch is heartbreaking. It is tragic. He was a supremely talented driver and way too young. 41 years young, and just way too soon. There is obviously a lot of speculation regarding, regarding how it happened. I said this morning on with Kale and Company that I heard from a few people. I said this on my show on LFA TV as well this morning on Rumble. I heard from a few people who don't know each other, the same cause of death. I'm not going to say anything about it. There's speculation. I will say that the theories about, the COVID vaccine and anything like that, it's not it. That's not what happened. Fair to question it, right? 41 years young. Why the sudden issue? Certainly fair to question that, but I would steer clear of pushing too hard down the conspiracy road. And I don't like using the word conspiracy because it's a word that's been used to demean people like me. But I would say that I would confidently say, and now there's a new report that he was coughing up blood the day before he died, that it was probably some sort of upper respiratory illness. And so we'll just wait for the family to disclose the information if they want to. They, by the way, have no obligation to tell us how Kyle Busch died either. So, but it's a very sad story, and we're gonna have fun today. But I wanted to get that off, get that out there. Tulsi Gabbard resigning. We'll touch a little bit more about that a little later today. Kyle Busch, there's no reason to relitigate anything there. I will say this though about NASCAR and why I like it. There's a lot of people who will kind of disrespect these athletes, and I do think it's a sport. And I do see the drivers as athletes, and I'll explain why. You spend 400 miles in a car. Think about how long that is. It's a long time. If I have to drive that long, I will generally stop a bunch of times. I'll hit a drive-through, eat something. Can't do that in the auto parts 400 or whatever it is, right? These 400-mile races, and you're going around and around. People say, "Oh, it's just left turns. It's not a sport." Okay, these guys and their bodies in these cars endure like some of the most brutal conditions that you can imagine. We're used to sitting in our car. I'm in my truck. My air conditioning's on. Got the window down. I'm listening to music or listening to, my favorite conservative commentators or listening to the news or whatever. And you can kind of turn it into a leisure event. That's not NASCAR. This is competitive racing. Okay? Speeds in the triple digits. Temperatures inside the car in the triple digits. It's not like, we just turn the air up a little bit more. It's no. And you got to make sure you're not slamming into 40 other racers and drivers. And you're pulling G-forces, G's on these bank turns at Talladega or Dover. It's not just driving, right? So I used to think this, what's the point? What's the point? You're just driving around in circles. No. These guys are athletes, and what their bodies endure. It's you've got to be in really good health. And obviously 2 weeks ago with Kyle Busch, there was a report came over the radio in his car at Watkins Glen, the road course in upstate New York, where there are also right turns. And he had a sinus issue. And 2 weeks later, he dies. There's no power steering. I mean, you have to drive the car. It's a very tough thing to do. And I see a lot of people, they're just driving. It's a lot more than that. And they're also human crash test dummies. They're human guinea pigs, these drivers. A lot of the safety features that are in your car that we'll take for granted were developed on the NASCAR circuit. So there's a utility there that keeps us safe too. So a little respect for these guys would go a long way. And obviously I don't see anybody disrespecting Kyle Busch. But I do see it all the time. Oh, you watch NASCAR, those are just some rednecks driving in circles. And it's like, well, from 30,000 feet, that's what it looks like. But there's a lot more to the sport. And yes, I do believe it is a sport. So it is not something that the average person can just jump in and do, right? It's not something that someone can say, I know how to drive, therefore I can go do NASCAR. No. So rest in peace to Kyle Busch. Thoughts and prayers to his family. Very sad. And, we'll see what details come out. I'm sure they're going to release something. People want to know how it happened. I don't think it's related to the COVID vaccine at all. I know there was some, speculation. Oh, he said, I want a shot on the radio, and he was talking about his sinus issues. Folks, I think he was talking about kind of one of those, you've seen those immune shots. You can buy them in the supermarket. They got these little shooters, you zinc or whatever it is, citric acid, whatever's in there. I think that's what he was talking about in terms of a shot. It was some sort of like liquid or something, not an injection. But anyway, I don't want to spend too much time, going down the conspiracy road on the Kyle Busch situation. It's incredibly sad. Again, he wasn't one of my favorite drivers, but nobody wants to see this. Nobody wants to see this. Drivers who are inside of these, race cars can reach temperatures of 120 to 140 degrees during the summer races. You can, lose 5 to 10 pounds of water weight in a single race alone through sweat. By the way, before I came on the air today, I have a treadmill in the garage. Things are getting hotter. Talk about sweat. I was sweating like I can't even say it. Just sweating a lot. 3 to 5 G's in terms of G-force. Driving 180 to 200 miles an hour on some of these tracks. I mean, inches away from other cars, from the wall. These guys are serious. You want to talk about athletes, their bodies take a lot of punishment. And that's why, if you're sick and you're putting your body through all that stress, it could get very dangerous. And, unfortunately, it seems like that's what happened with Kyle Busch. So one of the most talented drivers in the history of NASCAR, for sure. And look, I enjoy watching the sport every Sunday, but this Sunday is going to be real bittersweet. There's not going to be a dry eye in that house. So it's very sad, and thoughts and prayers are with the Busch family, and not the way I wanted to open, but I did want to, not kick the can all the way down the road. We are going to talk about a lot today, this 2024 autopsy report. Matter of fact, like the first, I would say, maybe hour or so or two, we got some fun. I have some funny stories mixed in here too. So we'll do it like the end of every hour. We'll have a fun break where we'll just touch on some silly, totally unrelated to the news of the day. We'll just touch on something silly. I've got a few really, really silly stories. You ever see iRobot? Will Smith walks into the room with that therapist and he says, "You want a cat?" And he's got all these scratches. It was after that robot tore through the house that he was in, that Alfred Lanning's house. And she said, "Did cats do this to you?" And he says, "How the hell are cats going to do this to me?" Well, there's a story out there at the end of hour one. We'll talk about it. A man had a run-in with a cat and sustained some pretty bad injuries. So that's the end of hour one that we'll get to. We are going to spend a lot of time throughout the beginning of today's 4-hour marathon here as we roll into Memorial Day weekend. We're going to spend a lot of time on the 2024 autopsy report, because it's not necessarily what is in the report that is important, but it is what is missing from the report that is also important. There are 3 key things that are missing from the Democrats' 2024 autopsy report. Number 1, the Joe Biden age and cognitive decline cover-up is not in the report. It is obvious that played a role in the Democrats' epic, crushing loss in the 2024 election. Obvious. The fact that you had a bunch of people in mainstream media trying to convince us that Joe Biden got dementia or, got old overnight. This guy was totally fried, and the whole world knew it. But when we pointed it out and said, "Hey, this guy's not making any sense. Like, are you sure this guy is your guy? Are you sure that he's, are you sure that he's got it all together?" And they were like, "Yeah, no, this whole Joe Biden's old thing is a conspiracy theory." Like, no, it's not a conspiracy theory. He is old. Everyone can kind of see that. And he's not making sense when he talks. We'll play a clip when we come back on the other side of our break. My favorite Joe Biden clip of all time. It's him where he's in that 60 Minutes interview. Scott Pelley is nibbling on his glasses, just chomping down on his glasses, right? I mean, I don't know. It must be like he thought it was a popsicle or something. I have no idea. But it's my favorite Biden clip of all time. And there are a lot of Biden clips that I like, but it is my favorite Joe Biden clip of all time. So we'll play that on the other side of the break to show you that, like, even in 2022, he gave this answer in 2022, and it was the most bizarre answer I've ever heard. And nobody's been able to translate what this means to me. So we'll play that on the other side. That's number 1 that's missing from the Democrats' autopsy report of 2024. Number 2, There was a whole thing. Oh, Kamala Harris wasn't set up for success. Yes, this is true. She was kind of hung out to dry in a way by the Biden administration, but take the Biden administration out of it. You know why Kamala Harris wasn't positioned for success? Because Kamala Harris is an awful candidate. We've seen that already. In 2020, she starts off strong. Everyone thinks that might be the front runner. She's a woman of color, whatever you want to go. She doesn't even make it to Iowa. Matter of fact, Tulsi Gabbard, who we talked about, who's resigning to support her husband in his battle with cancer. God bless them. And obviously, thoughts and prayers are with them. That's not easy. Tulsi Gabbard ended Kamala Harris's run before her run even started in 2020. She still hasn't won a primary. She hasn't won a single primary vote. The more you're exposed to Kamala Harris, the less you like her. The more you hear her, the less you like her. The more you see her eating Doritos, the less you like her. I'm reading this autopsy report saying, the truncated campaign played a role in that. No, actually, if the campaign was shorter, she probably would have done better, because the longer people experience, the Kamala Harris experience, the more they're like, I don't want that woman to be the president of the United States. It's the same trend. So that's number two. That's the second thing that I noticed was conveniently missing from the autopsy report. And there's a reason for that. There is a reason as to why Kamala Harris and her likability is not discussed in the autopsy report. And we'll talk about that a little later. And number three, that's missing from the autopsy report. One of the biggest wedge issues that presented itself within the Democrat Party, intra-party, in the 2024 election cycle, starting in 2023 and bleeding all the way into 2024, Israel-Gaza, is conveniently missing from the 2024 autopsy report. And if you think that did not play a role, and the venom, the vitriol that was being spewed by the Free Palestine crowd, remember the college riots, the campus encampments at Columbia University and all these other places, Yale, etc. If you think that played so small a role in the 2024 election cycle that it is left out of the autopsy report of the good, the bad, the ugly, then I don't know what political sphere and what political, game you're watching, because you're not watching the same game I'm watching. It played a huge role. Not because it necessarily matters here domestically, because of the characters that revealed themselves as being members of the Democrat Party. This whole thing about Zionism, and there's a Democrat in Texas who wants to put American Zionists in concentration camps. That's not a joke. It's not a joke, man. What's happening, right? That's real. We'll talk about that a little bit later today too. So there's a lot to get to. And this autopsy report is one of those things that we are absolutely going to cover in detail, because it's fun. Well, here's my thing. I like to read Politico. They say, Shawn, why do you like to read Politico? It's like left-wing garbage, bro. Yeah, I know. But I want to know what they're saying. If you're a head coach of a football team, you want to hear the other team's transmissions in their huddle, do you not? Or do you rather just be ignorant and be blindsided by everything that they're doing because you don't want to expose yourself to left-wing trash? I'm not saying I believe everything that Politico writes, but I like to see what the left is saying. All the time that he's on the Politico playbook email list. He gets that email every morning to see what they're going to talk about that day. It's like their Bible. It's like their lesson plan. So we will look at CNN's takeaways from the 2024 autopsy report. We can look at the 2024 autopsy report. What does that mean for the Republican Party in the midterms? We've got that. How the two parties may be mirroring each other in a way in terms of some of the for the respective parties, intra-party dynamics at play right now. You guys also controversial topic, but am I ever shy about controversy? No. Thomas Massey primaried out. Republican primary voters are finally showing up and going rhino hunting. I love it. Did you just call Thomas Massey a rhino? Well, I kind of did, because he's really a libertarian LARPing as a name only. Okay. 855-839-1210, by the way, if you want to chime in on any of that and more. We are going to jump for a quick break. We'll be right back on the other side. We'll dive headfirst into the 2024 autopsy report and anything else that you may want to talk about if you want to call in. 855-839-1210. Shawn Farash taking you all the way to 7 o'clock today at 1210 WPHT as we roll into what is going to be a fantastic, everybody understands it, a fantastic Memorial Day weekend. Farash on 1210 WPHT to wrap up this Farash Friday. We are here till 7 o'clock, and we're back after this.
Hey, it's Nick. Transform any living space for summer, indoors or out, during the Memorial Day sale at Bucks County Estate Traders. Their showroom is filled with high quality, built-to-last furniture, and I love the incredible variety. No matter your style, you will find beautiful pieces for every room in your home, plus a huge selection of patio and sunroom furniture. Save 20 to 50% store-wide. The sale runs now through the 31st, so don't miss it. Visit BucksCountyEstateTraders.com or their huge showroom in Hatfield. Tell them Nick sent you.
Life doesn't slow down, and planning your financial future can feel overwhelming. That's where Monastra Financial Group comes in. Whether you're preparing for retirement, managing a 401k, or protecting what matters most, their team offers personalized guidance built around you. With a straightforward approach, they help turn complex decisions into clear, confident steps forward. Take control of your financial future today. Text Mike Monastra at 484-471-4879. That's 484-471-4879.
Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-358-6868. That's 800-358-6868. Again, 800-358-6868.
What if everything you learned in history class was only half the story? I'm Dr. Harini Bhatt, host of Hidden History. Every Monday, I go where history gets mysterious. Vanished civilizations, doomsday prophecies, paranormal phenomena, and events that science still can't fully explain. On Hidden History, I treat these moments like open case files. Not myths, not superstition, just incomplete explanations waiting for a closer look. Listen to and follow Hidden History, available now wherever you get your podcasts.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by University of Maryland Global Campus.
Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei told a financial conference in New York City that software-as-a-service firms that don't integrate AI into their products will likely go bankrupt or completely go bust. Amodei says software firms who aren't paying attention are going to be blindsided. Software firms Salesforce and Adobe have adopted AI, and shares in both companies are down significantly in 2026. I'm Jason Brooks.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Shouldn't you expect more from your SUV? Introducing the all-new 2026 Mazda CX-5 with more space to fit every aspect of your life, more style inside and out, and more advanced tech features that put you in control. There's more to the Mazda CX-5 because there's more to you.
Visit Piazza Mazda of Westchester and Reading for financing as low as 1.9% APR for up to 60 months on select models. Shop online at piazzamazda.com.
Our yoga instructor challenged us to find inner peace. I found it faster than anyone. After 4 seconds, I stood up and screamed, "I found Nirvana! I win!" They asked me to leave. I guess they don't respect winning. Bet365 does, though. New customers get $200 in bonus bets just for betting $10. Namaste, losers. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Pennsylvania. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
Tune in to the Crash Proof Retirement Show Saturdays at 11 a.m. to hear Joanne Small-Canella and Tracy Stillman. The Crash Proof Retirement Show. Saturday mornings at 11 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Weather sponsored by H&K Group Incorporated. This evening and overnight, we're expecting rain. More rain tomorrow, too, with a high of only 56. For Sunday, high 63, some drizzle in the morning, and some clouds continuing throughout the day. It'll be a little warmer for Memorial Day, high 74 with some clouds.
Start your new career with H&K Group Incorporated. H&K Group wants to offer you the opportunity to be part of the industry leader. 80 locations across Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware. Visit hkgroup.com and apply today. H&K is an equal opportunity employer.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT from the Piazza Auto Group Studios. Experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations.
Welcome back, Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Shawn, Farash. 7 o'clock. We had an update in the YouTube chat about the great Rich Zioli. He has been discharged from the hospital, so we are happy to hear that he is home recovering. We are now joined by the National Press Secretary for the Republican, and it is nice to have Kirsten on the show today. Kirsten, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm very excited to have you. Definitely wanted to bring up a couple of things here regarding the position of the Republican Party ahead of the midterms. We had the Democrat National Committee autopsy report. So I'm going to side. You're seeing this autopsy report come out, and they're missing, I believe, 3 major things. The Biden cognitive decline cover-up, the fact that Kamala Harris simply just was not a likable candidate, that tracks, regarding her entire political career. The more people see her, the less enthused they are to vote for her. And the lack of in their report, when that was clearly a wedge issue for the Democrat Party. So have they not learned? And what confidence does this give the RNC, saying, look, our opponents may not have learned a thing from their crushing defeat?
No, I don't think they've learned a single lesson. I think the Democrats are just completely delusional at this point. The DNC is a mess. What you saw in the autopsy is that, to your point, they didn't mention Bidenflation. They didn't mention the fact that they wanted to put men into women's sports and bathrooms. They didn't mention religious freedom, Christians. They didn't mention anything related to gas prices. They mentioned the transgender issue in the context of one ad and only one border mention, which was a huge, obviously, issue during the 2024 campaign, was the illegal immigrants pouring over the border. And so I think what you see here is a lot of infighting surrounding this autopsy, because what Ken Martin managed to do was piss off everyone. There were people who did not want this report to be released. There were people that did. He stalled. He delayed, and then he finally released it. And the way he released it just angered his entire party. You have Senate candidates and you have Democrat members of Congress like Mark Pocan, for example, calling for his resignation. And you have Democrat activists, too, like David Hogg, saying he should resign. They're also pissed that he didn't put anything about Gaza in there. Obviously, the Israel and Gaza issue was big, but it was not mentioned. So I think, this is going to be a really tough time for Ken Martin, for the DNC, because not only this, but obviously they're drowning in debt as well. And so, I think that, when you do a direct comparison between where the DNC stands and where the RNC stands, there's pretty much no comparison. I think the DNC is just completely drowning right now.
I couldn't agree more. There was a story last week that came out about the intra-party drama over there at the DNC, and I always There's not, some passionate debates and disagreements among, Republicans. I happen to get into a lot of them on social media. But and I think it's healthy to an extent to discuss different ideas and different views and different stances. That's fine. Sometimes things carry over into other territory. But I feel like there's a little bit of projection going on. Oh, Republican infighting. And I'm sitting there going, I don't know. The Republican Party kind of looks like it knows what it's doing here. At least when Trump gets involved, President Trump, these national primary results, going back to Indiana a couple weeks ago, right, where 6 out of 7 Indiana state had lost their primaries because of, what they did during the redistricting fight over there in Indiana. You have the Thomas Massey race in Kentucky. You've got Georgia down in the Supreme Court seats down in Georgia. You've got a guy like Mike Collins. He was outspent 15-1, and he finishes first in the Georgia Senate primary. That's going to head to a runoff. So what do you make of, first of all, the idea that there's a lot of infighting on the Republican side? I think it's just the primary process playing out, and I think it's playing out rather well if you are somebody who is a fan of the president and passing the president's agenda.
Definitely. I think it's been a really good record for Republicans. We had obviously the redistricting map, the rigged map in Virginia being struck down. We also saw, like you said, I think that the power and the strength of President Trump's endorsement in these primaries. I think the main takeaway from that is the idea that President Trump is the strongest force for turnout. He's the strongest base motivator. Clearly, the Republican Party is united around President Trump and united around his ideas and his America First agenda. And additionally, I think what you're seeing with the redistricting across the country is you see Republicans pushing back on what Democrats have done for decades. You see them essentially now fighting fire with fire, and you're seeing that Democrats are finally being met with the same force that they've been pushing forward, again, across the country for years. And so it's really positive. Obviously, we can't rely on it. We still need to make sure we're turning out the vote. And the RNC is very involved with turning out those low propensity voters. That's who we're targeting ahead of the 2026 midterms.
I love that strategy, by the way, going after the low props. I think in 2024, and correct me if I'm wrong, but Laura Trump was involved with the RNC as the co-chair, and there was this massive, all of a sudden, this new embrace of early voting. And I remember saying ahead of 2024, or ahead of those elections, there were a lot of people, they were like, oh, I don't like early voting. It gives like the Democrats the numbers they need. And I'm like, no. What it does is if you're a 4 out of 4, one of those high prop voters, and you go out and you vote early, like I voted in Tennessee the first day of early voting, I don't need to be contacted anymore because everyone knows I voted. So you can now take those resources that were going to reach me that I'm just going to hold out till election day. I'm sucking up all these resources. And now you can reach somebody who may not have turned out. And I think that's like a secret weapon. We talk about like a silent majority. I feel like going after those low prop voters, because we can rely on the high prop voters when they know how significant and how important this race is a way to really stack numbers and put more numbers on the board going into these midterms that polling probably won't pick up on, and perhaps even the Democrats aren't going to pick up on.
Well, that's right. And that's why the RNC just invested in our ground game. We spent 7 figures on deploying 34 field directors across 17 states. The program definitely has room to expand. But to your point about the silent majority is that a lot of our voters, they're maybe not super politically engaged. They may not they may not be typically midterm voters, but there are people that are on our team. They're on our side. They don't trust the Democrats. They like President Trump's ideas. They support Republicans. And they just need to be contacted and educated to make sure that they know about the candidates that are running in races in their states. And I think a big part of our strategy going forward is to make sure that we reach those voters and we reach them in ways where we're going to have staff on the ground. We're going to be talking door to door. We're going to make sure that we're talking with the local parties as well, and continuing to invest across the country so that, again, we really turn out our people, our base. I think we have a lot of voters in this country. I think we outnumber the Democrats. I think that the Democrat coalition is shrinking, and that's why they're getting so desperate, and that's why their party is collapsing.
I couldn't agree more, and it really warms my heart, and I'm not saying this to be dramatic, to hear that the RNC is going to be investing in the ground game. I live in Tennessee, Rutherford County, and I've been very, very open about my love for political activism. When I lived in New York, I was a grassroots activist, started this massive organization on Long Island, and we had thousands of people out, and we worked closely with Lee Zeldin in 2022 and all of this. We just campaigned, my wife and I and a whole bunch of volunteers in this county just campaigned for our local sheriff's race in the primary, and he won the primary by over 20 points in a three-way race. He got a majority of the vote. But we were super excited to be a part of the ground game, the door-to-door efforts, meeting people on their doorsteps, meeting people in their living rooms, making those connections with voters so that they were, that they didn't just feel like they got contacted by a campaign, but it gave them almost something to be a part of. So it warms my heart. It really makes me excited to hear that the RNC is going to be investing in ground game because, in my opinion, ads are great, mailers are great, TV, radio, all of this is fantastic. Podcast is fantastic. I do a podcast, but I think these elections are won in the trenches. And it sounds like, from what you just said, the RNC is getting ready to go into the trenches, full bore ahead of these midterms.
We're definitely in the trenches, and not only are we in the trenches, but I think that, what we're doing is we're allowing ourselves to expand. We have a lot of resources. We have a huge stockpile right now of fundraising because our great finance chair, J.D. Vance, has been so amazing, and there's so much enthusiasm across the country. And I think that, this is something that we are very enthusiastic about because we really do have the resources to go toe-to-toe with Democrats. The thing I like to remind people is, the DNC is crumbling, but the Democrats have a lot of other dark money, left-wing groups that are flooding the zone ahead of midterms. And in order to compete with them, that's why it's so important that we continue to fundraise, that we continue to drive those investments forward. And so what we're going to be doing is expanding our ground game in these targeted locations as we get closer. And we're going to continue to obviously grow our stockpile of resources because, again, Democrats, they will be flooding the zone. They have a lot of money and other groups on their side. And in order to compete, we have to be prepared. And I think that's what we're doing. And luckily, we have a great team and we have an operation in place that is going to definitely expand.
Talking with Kirsten Pels, the National Press Secretary for the Republican National Committee, the RNC. And I'm going to slip this one in there. So we're going to say, Kirsten, you're doing a tremendous job, right? Keep the RNC going. You're going to do a tremendous job. You're doing very well. Everybody's talking about it. I'm an activist at heart, okay, first and foremost. And I love to give these helpful tips to folks when they're watching my show and whatnot. I say, we do this thing the first of every month. And we say, okay, it's the first of every month. Time to go back on Google and ask your favorite AI or Google or whatever, is there an election that I can vote in my zip code this month? This way we never miss it. We never miss a special. We never miss a primary. We don't miss library board. We don't miss school board. We don't miss anything. We do not miss elections. What are some healthy habits and some tips ahead of the 2026 midterms that you can give other activists or maybe just, voters here or there to help drum up turnout and bring a wave of supporters to the polls? What would you say let's say 3 easy steps so we can give anybody listening for a way to contribute outside of maybe monetary donations, which are important? What are some three practical things they can do to help drive turnout ahead of 2026?
I think number one, be aware of the candidates that are running in your local district or your state for Congress, and if there's a Senate race as well. Be educated on the candidates and the issues, and make sure that you tell your friends, your family, your community, your church, wherever you are interacting with larger groups of people, your network, and ensure that they are aware too of the stakes. I think it's super important that once you educate yourself, you're in a position where you're going to actually know a lot more than your average person, who I totally understand. People are busy. They want to tune out of politics. But I think individuals can serve a big role in their local communities if they actually make themselves aware of the races and the candidates. And a lot of times it is word of mouth. It is name recognition. If you tell the people in your communities that, hey, so-and-so is running in this district, and this is his name, and vote for him. And if any friends and family that like you and respect your opinion, they'll probably do just that. And not only that, you can get involved at protectthevote.com at the RNC website, where you can definitely volunteer and sign up. If people are interested in being a poll watcher or a poll worker, those are great volunteer opportunities to where you can be involved in election day operations and be involved on the ground to ensure that the ballots are protected. I know a lot of people care about election integrity. They want to make sure their vote is secure. That is another big way to get involved. And another thing the RNC did is we expanded our election integrity program. We also sent and deployed our staff across the country. So we're going to have election integrity directors positioned in those states across the country as well.
Excellent. Kirsten Pels, National Press Secretary for the RNC. You can follow her on X at Kirsten, KIERSTENPELS. Doing a great job over there at the RNC. Warms my heart to hear that ground game is, a top priority, and election integrity is also a top priority of the RNC. You heard the steps that she told you to take. Kirsten, thank you so much for joining us today on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. We hope to have you back soon.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Kirsten Pels, National Press Secretary for the RNC. Give her a follow on X at Kirsten Pels. Good stuff coming out of the RNC. Warms my heart. Gets me excited to hear that we are focused on winning these elections in the trenches. We come back, we're going to have a little bit of a laugh break, and then we will, hour 2, dive into that autopsy report. What's in it? What's not in it? You heard from Kirsten. Sounds like the Democrats did not learn a thing. So we will get into all that and more when we come back after break here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Shawn Farash with you till 7 o'clock. Here on the greatest radio station in the nation, and we'll be back right after this.
If clutter is costing you time, fix it right away. Closet Factory designs and installs custom storage for closets, pantries, and home offices. Schedule a free design consultation at closetfactory.com. closetfactory.com.
Hey, this is Larry Steinhaus with Investor Schooling. Listen, I know sometimes you worry about coming to see me because you don't want to invest in real estate, because you don't want to deal with toilets, trash, or tenants. I'm going to teach you a way that you don't have to deal with toilets, trash, or tenants, or even own any real estate and invest in real estate at the same time. You want to learn this, so go to investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com, and take a complimentary class this Thursday, and I promise you, no toilets, no trash, no tenants.
By texting 64000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Pocket Host. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at pockethost.com/terms.
Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and the world's #1 expandable hose has gone ballistic. The brand new Pocket Hose Ballistic is here, and it's the hose I reach for every time. This brand new anti-burst sleeve uses an extraordinary new liquid crystal polymer used in bulletproof vests, tough enough to handle anything your outdoor tasks throw its way. And that's not all. The Pocket Hose Ballistic comes with even more upgrades like thicker washers that resist leaks and an enhanced UV coating so your hose looks brand new, year after year. What could be better than that? How about not 1, but 2 free gifts with your purchase? For a limited time, when you purchase a new Pocket Hose Ballistic, you'll get a free 360-degree rotating pocket pivot and a free thumb drive nozzle. Just text SUMMER to 64,000. That's SUMMER to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. That's SUMMER to 64,000.
For more expert appliance shopping advice, here's National Appliance Warehouse's own appliance guru.
Hi! Our strong reputation for offering the lowest possible prices brings so many new customers to National Appliance Warehouse. They shop confidently, knowing that Price Assure is always working to confirm the National Appliance Warehouse price is the best available. What keeps bringing them back is the experience they receive. At National Appliance Warehouse, we're guided by our what if policy, meaning, what if this customer was my parent, child, or friend? We provide the same 5-star service we deliver to our own family. You deserve it all. The lowest prices on the perfect new appliances and a delightful, satisfying experience. That's how National Appliance Warehouse customers become our friends.
The Memorial Day mega sale is underway at National Appliance Warehouse. Save on Whirlpool. Get a 4-piece suite of stainless steel Whirlpool appliances with side-by-side refrigerator for only $1998.88 after rebate. Click nationalappliancewarehouse.com or visit their showroom in tax-free Wilmington today.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra vutrisiran is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
From North Wales to Willingboro, we know your favorite stations, Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Yeah, that's right. The boys know I love me some Red Hot Chili Peppers here on a Friday afternoon, 3:54 p.m. on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. I got a funny story to wrap up hour one. I told you we're going to do some fun breaks at the end of each hour to kind of break it up a little bit. That it beating the you-know-what out of you with the news all day. Nobody wants that. All right. This is an older story, but I found it. And I said, whatever, we're going to talk about it. Now, Justin's got cats. I have 3 cats. Okay? I got 3. And they find a way in any situation to, like, get in the way. I think that's, like, clear. They just don't care. They do what they want when they want. So there's a story in the New York Post. Now, it is from a couple years ago, but it's from a men's health section. I'm lucky to be alive after sustaining, quote, car crash injuries, tripping over my cat. Could you just... Now, I have nearly been in this man's situation. I'll be going upstairs, and one of my cats, when you run up the stairs or even walk up the stairs, she will dart up the stairs, and you never know which way she's going to go. So sometimes I'll run up the stairs to make her chase me because she likes that. One time, I mean, she got like right under me, and it was almost the end. Like my knee almost came off and just dropped all the way down the stairs. His cat apparently was playful, dove out and latched onto this guy's feet, Chris Rowley, one of his legs while he was coming down the stairs. It always happens on the stairs, by the way. These cats, they like terrorists a little bit. Okay? Quote, it took a bit of a chunk out of my leg, then I lost my footing, described Rowley, who reportedly tumbled down 14 steps before arriving at the bottom where he lay unable to move, where his feline put the word hell in Hello Kitty. I mean, this guy said he was massively injured man, did not realize the extent of his injuries at the time. However, paramedics later revealed that he'd suffered a fractured skull, a broken bone in the neck, 2 fractures in the spine, 9 broken ribs, because this could be me one day, and each rib has multiple fractures, and then he had a bit of blood in his lungs. Holy smokes. Just watch, cats, like, they have it out for you. They have it out for you. Justin, you ever have any close encounters with your cat?
It's always the worst when, especially, I don't know if you've had this, where you're carrying something, like you either get takeout, you get a pizza, or you're carrying something in from like Walmart or something, and your cat's like laying in the middle of the floor.
Oh yeah.
And you're trying to step around them, and as you're stepping around them, they start like zigzagging through your legs, and you don't want to step on their tail. So right. I've had this happen, thankfully not to the extent of a broken skull, broken neck bone, blood in my lungs, but it's happened more times than I'd like to admit. But I want to emphasize, I still love my cats with all my heart.
Oh, I love my cats. They're all great. Rowley's wife, the victim's wife, Jackie, is a children's care worker, was working nights and was therefore unable to come to his aid. So think of this. As a result, this gentleman, by the way, of course, he's European, but had to lie unattended for a whopping 14 hours bleeding because of this cat. So, the moral of the story is be careful. And, I've dealt with it too. You're coming in with something heavy and they're doing that figure 8 nonsense in your legs. It's like, And it's not going to end badly for the cat because the minute you start to waver, they bolt, but you're going down. So it's like that scene from iRobot. How the hell do cats do this to me? This cat, the car crash injuries. You would think this guy was in a brawl with Mike Tyson, but it was just his cat attacked his leg coming down the stairs, and it resulted in some pretty serious injuries. Thankfully, he is okay, as is the cat, by the way. He's got one of those hairless cats, too, which I think should be illegal because they're ugly.
Sphinx?
Yeah, I'm not into that. Yeah, exactly. Not into that. So there it is. There's your top of there's your end of hour one kind of laugh break, fun break. You know, it's funny because he survived. It's very serious though. Be careful with these cats. They plot, they scheme, they know how to get in the way. They lay in the middle of the floor, like you said. So anyway, we will be back. We'll start off hour two the way I wanted to start off hour one, but we had a good time anyway. Talk about Kyle Busch. We had the RNC press secretary on. We will get into the Democrat autopsy report on the other side of this break when we come back, kicking off hour two here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Shawn Farash until 7 o'clock as we roll into Memorial Day weekend, and we'll be right back. Stay right there.
Looking for a great real estate agent? Someone who can help you sell your home fast and for top dollar? Go to ready.com, REDY.com. Because on Ready, agents will pay you just for the opportunity to sell your home. Yeah, on Ready, agents will pay you for your listing. Thousands of dollars up front just for a chance to sell your home. And it's easy. Just go to ready.com, enter your address, and when you want to sell. In just 48 hours, the best local agents are competing on Ready to be your agent with cash offers up front just to win your business. Hey, your listing is valuable. Don't give it away. Make those agents earn it. Get paid to pick your real estate agent. Go to ready.com or call 888-525-REDY. 888-525-READY.
In Philadelphia, Chase is proud to root for the home team because they're our team too. We cheer from the bleachers and on the sidelines. We cheer for gymnasts and quarterbacks. And with more than 80 local Chase branches and 5,000 nationwide, we are right beside you, Philadelphia. Neighborhood bankers, digital tools, national strength. Chase, make more of what's yours.
JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
I finished a 5K in 94th place, right after a man wearing jeans. They still gave me a medal. I don't want a reward for doing. I want a reward for dominating. Like Daily Prize Matcher on Bet365. I play for free and win real rewards, like up to $5,000 in cash weekly. Unlike that joker in denim. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically present in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. T's and C's apply.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. You know I love summer vacation, and the Zioli family, we love Cape May, and we love the Grand Hotel of Cape May, New Jersey, and you will love it too. Book a June midweek stay, and you're going to save big time because you're going to get resort credits back. The longer you stay, the more you save. 3 nights get you $60 a night in resort credits, 5 nights get you $70, and 7 nights get you $80 a night in resort credits, and you can use those resort credits to get food and beverages at Hemingway's restaurant, the outdoor pool bar, beach concession stand, or the gift shop. Take the family on a whale watching boat cruise. But you got to book direct with them for the best rates and to get your resort credits. So go to grandhotelcapemay.com. And the Grand is also the perfect place to host a wedding or special event. With 4 ballrooms, they have the perfect space to make lifetime memories. But they always sell out for the summer, so make sure you make your reservations today. If you love the outdoor pool, the indoor pool, you'll love it all. GrandHotelCapeMay.com.
At a recent hearing, the money had been released and a spending plan would soon be sent to lawmakers, but that promised deadline has come and gone.
The World Health Organization has updated its risk assessment of the Ebola outbreak in the Congo. Director General Tedros Ghebreyesus says it's now very high at the national level, high at the regional level, and low globally. He says of the situation in Uganda,
the measures taken in Uganda, including intense contact tracing and canceling the Martyrs' Day commemoration, appear to have been effective in preventing the further spread of the virus.
AAA is predicting that 45 million Americans will travel more than 50 miles from home for the Memorial Day holiday. Flyers at the Dallas-Fort Worth airport say they got there early just in case.
Definitely plan ahead. If you can get here early, definitely do it. And if you can splurge for like TSA pre-check or something like that, or global entry if you're flying international, I say do it because it makes it way better.
Stocks closed up on Wall Street. This is CBS News.
Every Sunday, moderator Margaret Brennan goes face-to-face with top leaders to make you better informed. Face the Nation, Sunday on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids. Rolaids' dual-active formula has calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. Yeah, you heard right. 2 actives for that powerful relief. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaid spells powerful relief. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Ready or not, summer is coming, and Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance is on now. Right now through May 25th, get up to 70% off everything home at Wayfair. Plus, score amazing doorbuster deals all sale long and surprise flash deals on Memorial Day. We're talking thousands of products at every style and budget. Now is the time to save big on must-haves for your patio, backyard, and beyond. These savings won't last, so don't wait. Shop Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance now through May 25th.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
A Major League Baseball team is calling on a TV star to drum up support for a summer promotion. CBS's Deborah Rodriguez explains.
Paging Dr. Robbie. The Pittsburgh Pirates are calling on the Pitt star, played by Noah Wiley on the hit HBO series, to help them kick off the team's annual Yinzer Palooza Fan Fest. They'll give away Dr. Robbie bobbleheads to the first 20,000 who show up at the July 25th game in Pittsburgh against the Chicago Cubs. A promotional video features shots of familiar pit stops around the city, like Pamela's Diner, the Robert Holy Fish Company, and the Roberto Clemente Bridge. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
39-year-old Aleem Chan has been hired as the first female music director of the San Francisco Symphony. She will start with the 2027-28 season and has been given a 6-year term. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses, or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code GO to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code GO to borrow up to $10,000. Use code GO to borrow up to $10,000.
WPHT HD WOGL HD3 Philadelphia from the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. Free speech lives here. The WPHT Afternoon Show.
Yeah, it's a 4-hour Farash Friday.
Oh, yeah.
It's a 4-hour Farash Friday. Turn the radio loud.
So good.
Shawn's in the studio, firing up the crowd. Shawn Farash, yeah, the man's arrived with pork chops, broccoli, and chaos in his eyes. Oh, it's a Farash Friday, like the studio door. He's got props in his hands, so stay tuned for more. He's got pork chops, broccoli, and a macaroni tie. WPHT 3 to 7, he's doing it live. He leans in low with a Trump imitation. Frankly, 1210 is the greatest in the nation. Farash Friday, turn the volume up high. Laughing through the madness while the hours fly by.
That's right. It is 4:08 p.m. on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. The greatest rejoiner, the greatest intro music in the game. Newman Price does a tremendous job. He did a tremendous job. And this worked out very well. We're doing tremendously well, I can tell you that. It's just the fact that pork chops and broccoli have become a thing now, like online. If I'm eating something different, I go, what's the matter? No pork chops tonight? Every time I go on Kale and Company, how many pork chops did you eat this week? Guys, it's really good. And it's not too dissimilar from beef. You know, I mean, it's not the same, but it's also, because it's not the same, it's also not nearly as expensive. So I will be eating a lot more pork. I'm going to continue to eat. I enjoy it, and it's so my bank account enjoys it too. We're going to get into this Democrat autopsy report. They're crushing 2020 election loss, and obviously we've been talking about it for the first hour. They left out a couple of glaring details while attempting to soften the blow and all the criticism of the radical fringe of their party. You know, they can't go after the radical fringe of their party because once you see, here's the difference between like us and them. You go after the radical fringe of the Democrat Party and they get, I mean, all in their feels. The pearls start going. They start turning into Karens, right? Where's my Karen of,
you can't say that about me. I'm a person of color.
you know, all sorts of crazy stuff like that. They get crazy. They start clutching. They go the Tucker Carlson route. Who do you think you are? Start wagging fingers. Nuts. Right? This is what differentiates the left from the right. The intra-party dynamics of both groups cannot be any more dissimilar. The left allowed their radicals to take control of their party, and it resulted in one of the most humiliating electoral losses and presidential election performances in modern United States history. That can't be debated. It was embarrassing. It was crushing. Now, the right, the Republican Party, and voters on the Republican Party just roundly rejected some of the most obscene, abhorrent, and disgusting rhetoric that has ever surfaced in the Republican Party. And before anyone goes, oh, you're going to say anti-Semitism. Well, some of it's anti-Semitism. Some of it is just fair criticism. For the record, I don't have a problem with someone who says, I don't want to send money to Israel. Okay, you know what? Frankly, neither do I. I'd rather send money to nobody and spend it all in the United States. So we can have that conversation. I don't have a problem with someone saying, you know, the Israeli government and all this, that, and the other, you know, I'm not a fan of Bibi, despite the fact that people think he pays me, which is odd. You know, he's a little too war happy at times. These are fair and honest criticisms and takes that we can have. But that's not what a lot of these people are doing. You see, they're hiding behind this whole, well, I just don't like the foreign government, this, that, and the other. Really? And then why do you throw the term Jew around like it's an insult if it's not about Jews and it's just about a government of another country, right? You know, you can't have both. The group known as what I call them, the woke right, got behind Thomas Massie and they got smoked. They got smoked. And I heard about it online for months. You gotta read the room, bro. You gotta read the room. The ratios, dude. You're getting ratio. You're getting bodied in your comment section, bro. And I said, okay, I don't really care because that's the internet. Now, the internet is a useful tool. We're streaming on YouTube, youtube.com/1210WPHT. I have a podcast on Rumble, rumble.com/LFATV. I'm on X a lot. That's the internet. I get it. It's a tool. It is a tool that can be used to advance conversations and discussions from the online world to the offline world. But it is not a direct representation of real life. And it can be very easily manipulated through botting and all sorts of stuff like that, algorithm manipulation, etc. A lot of these ratios, which a lot of people don't even know what that means. You know, you go in someone's comment section, you get more likes than the original post. Ratio. But what did it get you on Tuesday night? A 10-point loss? Is that what your goal was? These quote unquote influencers that surged into Kentucky, and I have a hard time believing they did that for free. But I have a hard time believing that. I'm not saying they're definitely being paid, but I have a hard time believing they went to Kentucky for free. And then they wound up in Massey's house and all this other stuff, okay? These influencers proved they have no influence at all. despite the fact that they can influence an algorithm to boost their content. But they would lead you to believe, look, if the internet was real life and a direct representation of real life, Massey would have won by 40 points. But he didn't. The real world delivered a shock to both the left and what I call the woke right on Tuesday. And there's a lot of people, woke right, it doesn't make any sense. It's an oxymoron. You can't be woke and on the right. Not true. Woke means awake. And specifically, awake to oppression, right? And so while the left, the woke left, will tell you that it's the white man that is, it's the white man that is responsible for all of our struggles. The woke right tells you it's who? Israel, the Jews, right? And all that. You're oppressed. You're oppressed by a foreign country. Oh, really? Yeah, you're oppressed. You're oppressed by white men. It's the same mindset. The DNC finally released its autopsy report for the 2024 election, and while it may look like there is nothing groundbreaking in there, it's what the report left out that is the real eye-opener. There is no talk about the Biden age and cognitive decline cover-up, which no doubt played a role in the election, especially after the media told us for years that Joe Biden was sharp as a tack. He's sharp as a tack. We get cut 34 ready. In 2022, Joe Biden sat down with 60 minutes. It's 1 minute and 40 seconds of just a mess. He's asked about his age. He's asked about his mental focus. And he answers with probably one of the most bizarre answers I've ever heard in my life. And still to this day, nearly 4 years after this interview took place, I have no bleeping clue what he was trying to say here. Let's roll cut 34. Okay. That was 2022. That was before the 2022 midterms. We got this whale of an answer.
I no more think of myself as being as old as I am than fly.
What does that mean? Let's slow it down. I no more think of myself as being as old as I am than fly.
Where the hell are we?
What's happening? Right? Like, what? And I remember we bringing that up going, Joe Biden just said something that he just threw a bunch of words together and said them, right? No. He's sharp as a tack. This guy was cooked in 2022. And it's, you see that and you're like, wow, it actually got worse than that. It actually got worse than that. It got to the point where, remember after the debate, they tried to say, it was jet lag in the cold. And then, do you remember this? They put him out there at a podium. I guess they was talking about Ukraine. And they actually called it a big boy press conference. Big boy. Like he's I'm a big kid now. Like, this is the president of the United States. He's waddling around in diapers. You tell him, look, Joe Biden's going to have a big boy press conference tomorrow. What? Oh, my gosh. You can't. I no more think of myself as being as old as I am than fly. Okay, sure. What does that mean? No idea. Nobody could tell me. I still have not gotten a translation. 855-839-1210. If you know what the sentence, I no more think of myself as being as old as I am than fly means. Take your best chance at it. Take your best guess. Your guess is as good as mine and sure as hell as good as his. That, the cognitive decline stuff. Come on, this is the guy. I got hairy legs. Remember? They turn blind in the sun. This guy was talking about his leg hairs on the campaign trail. That was in 2020. We knew he was shot. 2020. The 60 Minutes clip with the I no more think of myself as being as old as I am than fly, that was 2022. And it got worse. There was no mention of the glaring issue that has always plagued, by the way, Kamala Harris. We talk about this. She's not likable. Go back, flashback, rewind, 2020 primary election cycle. Kamala Harris started off strong. There was like a campaign kickoff rally, a lot of people, everyone's excited. Oh, she's a woman of color, this whole thing. And then didn't make it to the Iowa caucus. The more people see her, the less people like her. The more people hear her, the less people like her. This was not mentioned in the autopsy report. Why do you think that is, by the way? Why would they not mention these negative attributes about Kamala Harris in the autopsy report? Why would you think that is? Think. Put on your thinking cap, right? Sit down in the thinking chair, Blue's Clues style, right? And think. Why? Because she's running again. And she's polling at the top or near the top of a very crowded and, might I add, lackluster 2028 primary field. It's early, I know, but she's one of the top names right now in polling. You can't put that one of their top names is a disaster in their autopsy report, but you're going to tell me that her lack of likability didn't play a role? Okay. Now, to wrap it up the way we started it, there was no mention. None. In the 2024 autopsy report, as we said, of Israel Gaza. Kirsten Pell said this before when she joined us previous hour. They didn't mention it. As I mentioned earlier, this group, we call them the woke right, has made their entire platform revolve around Israel and the relationship that the United States has with that country. Clearly, as Tuesday would prove to you, as it proved in Kentucky, that does not resonate with voters. You know what I think might have been a better strategy, by the way, in Kentucky? And this goes for anywhere where a campaign is being run. Was Thomas Massie running against Ed Galrein in Israel, in Tel Aviv? Was Thomas Massie running for a position in the Israeli government against Ed Galrein? The answer is no. He was running to be the representative in Kentucky's 4th congressional district in the United States federal government, the House of Representatives. So then why was the first thing that entire campaign kept talking about was Israel, 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 Israel? Those people don't live in Israel. They live in Kentucky. Talk about Kentucky. Hello? I thought you were supposed to be America first. How come you always talk about America second? You always talk about the foreign country first. Everything's Israel, Israel, Israel. AIPAC, AIPAC, AIPAC. Miriam Adelson and the AIPAC, committee and all this the Jewish lobby. Why do you always do that first? People in Kentucky don't care. They don't care. If they did care, you would have won unanimously. The Democrats had that same problem in 24 with their Free Palestine crowd. Jewish Americans like Bill Ackman were incensed with what they saw emanating from the Democrat Party. Many lifelong Democrats chose not to vote for that party after seeing how it chose to cozy up to terrorists, and it failed to police their own. I'm not talking about censorship. I'm talking about strategy. This no doubt played a role in the 2024 cycle. No doubt. It was a major wedge issue in the Democrat Party, and yet it was not mentioned in the autopsy report. By the way, this even drew criticism from Democrats like AOC and Ro Khanna. We mentioned that. The autopsy report shows one thing. The Democrats have not learned from their 2024 mistakes. And I, for one, I'm very happy to see that. You guys think open borders is popular now just because Donald Trump, is the president and you've run some negative stories and the approval rating in some of the polls are down. You think people are going to say, yeah, I don't like Trump, but so let's throw the border open again? You think, genital mutilation, or as Trump says, mutilization, that's not a word, but he says it. It's funny. He makes up his own word. Do you think that's popular? You think people want that? You think that's what they want to hear? No. You think this constant fixation about Israel and the Jews and this cuddling up and cozying up to Islamo-Marxists and Iran and defending them you think people want to hear that? Are you nuts? Okay. But the Democrats clearly, you read this autopsy report, it's either one of two things. Either it's a total crock of sugar honey iced tea, and they just put it out to put something out. and they put out what was released so that they can say, all right, here's the autopsy report. And they withheld their criticisms of their top polling candidate. They withheld their criticisms of the radical fringe and the platform items the radical fringe espouses in the Democrat Party. Because if they criticized the radical fringe, they would have rebelled. There'd be a mutiny. There'd be a mutiny. It wouldn't be safe to be at the DNC. So you look at the Democrats and what they have or haven't learned, and the other option there with this autopsy report, and we'll go into the actual report when we come back on the other side. We're going to get to a call quick, and then we're going to jump off on a break. One of two things: either the Democrats release this and they're BSing everybody. Here's the report, or they actually believe this report and they haven't learned a thing. Let's go to Jose from Philly. He's got an interesting point about the Massey results. Jose calling in from Philly. What's up, Jose? You're on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Glad you're having me on. I appreciate it.
You got it, man. What's up?
So I think that something about this Massey loss is a bit understated because what we're looking at here is the largest funded House primary in American history.
True.
And even though that's the case, Massey only loses by 10 points. If you look at big data poll, they're showing that his largest support, 81% of the age bracket, 18 to 29, support him.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about the future of the GOP here.
You're not wrong in the short term, but can I ask you a question? So you bring up big data poll. So I'm familiar with big data poll. It's Rich Barris. What did big data poll? What was their last poll in the race? What did it show in terms of final result? What did it show? Do you know what it is?
It was It was 50% in Massey's favor.
It was 50%. It was like 50.2 to like 49.8 or something, right? A big data poll final results. Yeah. So the results of the actual race though were Galrine by 9.8, right? So that's essentially a 10-point miss, which fine, everyone's entitled to a miss, but a 10-point miss is very significant. Now, I'm not saying that young voters didn't favor Massey, because I saw that data in other polls as well. But I want to offer this. I don't know if young voters are going to continue to hold on to these platform items for a long time. Short attention spans. There's it's like Israel now is the new Black Lives Matter. Or BLM, you thought it's going to be racial, identity politics, all this, and then that wound up going down the wayside. So I'm not going to hit the panic button, but you are right to raise that and say, look, the future of the GOP says one thing, the current of the GOP says the other, and there is going to have to be reconciliation there. So you're not wrong on that, and it's a good point to raise. You are. That is true.
Sure. I got just one more for you. The TPSI released another survey. This was actually just yesterday, I believe. Okay. I don't know if you're familiar with Nicholas Fuentes, but
I'm not a fan of his. Not a fan.
His population was polled, or rather, the population that they polled, they asked the question about whether or not they support him or identify with his movement. 7.8% of likely voters and 7.5% of registered voters said they do identify with his movement, and 12.1% of the men said that they identify with his movement. Again, this is more common among the 30 to 44-year-olds, but we're seeing a lot more of it in the 18 to 29 age bracket. Again, the future of the GOP here. And the other thing is, Fuentes recently said, in order to give the GOP a black eye, and because they didn't give him what he wanted in terms of policy, not the things that he wasn't satisfied with, said that if you follow him, you ought to either abstain from voting or vote Democrat.
Yep. I heard that.
If they are willing to follow him in this kind of falling on their sword type of seppuku, what are we looking at for the future of the GOP? Because
I think we're looking. I think if they choose, and we unfortunately we're right up against the break, Jose. So we gotta run. But you bring up a very good point. The Fuentes problem is absolutely a problem. But I do think him coming out as a Democrat and saying he even came out and said, I'm a moderate Democrat. I think that may start to, some of these young guys go, I'm not going to go that far. And it's up to us. It's up to folks like us. It's up to the Republican Party, the National RNC, to reach these young voters and steer them the right way, because Fuentes is not the right way. And I know that there's a lot of young folks that are identifying with his movement and are, they're saying that this is the guy who inspires him to do all this. They didn't come out and vote on Tuesday. So I'm not hitting the panic button, but I'm also not going to say it's nothing. Okay, so it is a good point. That's why I wanted to take it before the break, because it was a good point from Jose in Philly. We do have to run. We're going to be back on the other side of this break. We'll jump into the specifics of the 2024 Democrat autopsy report. Great points from Jose in Philly. 855-839-1210 if you want to chime in on that issue or anything else. Shawn Farash taking you all the way to 7 o'clock here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. We're back after this.
Recently, our company softball team lost the big game by 1 run. Then Dale tried to console us with the quote, "Winning isn't everything." Dale's a loser. I play to win, like early payout from Bet365. If my team goes up big, I get paid out instantly, even if they blow the lead later. Sound familiar, Dale? Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Pennsylvania. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
Now we're moving into summer, and it's time we find out how brutal the winter weather was to our home. Hey, it's Rich Zioli. If you're looking for a contractor that can help you with repairs during this time, or maybe you want to get a jump in those renovations, go with my guys, Emmons. They deliver protection, peace of mind, and true craftsmanship. That's why Emmons has always been my go-to contractor for over 10 years in 2 different homes. And they even just remodeled our kids' bathroom. Plus, you're going to get American-made products, American-made roofing products to lifetime warranted Owens Corning roofs built to handle severe weather, siding that elevates and insulates your home, and made in America, windows and doors that blend style and performance, made in America. Emmons has you covered every step of the way. So go to emmonsroofing.com, upgrade your home with confidence, make sure you tell them I sent you, and always go with the company that I go with, because I trust them, and they've delivered for me each and every time in 2 different homes. That's Emmons Roofing, emmonsroofing.com.
Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? The IRS won't quit until they get your money. Here's great news, fresh from those in the know. Major changes have happened at the IRS. If you owe more than $10,000, you may be eligible for a 99% reduction of what you owe. Haven't filed a return for a while? Their happy clients are talking.
The IRS was going to levy my bank account, but Guardian was able to prevent that and fix all my IRS issues. Thanks again, Guardian Tax.
Need relief from crushing tax debt? The IRS now has special programs. Guardian Tax knows all about them. Personal or business, this is the fresh new break you've been hoping for.
We aren't the company you call when you need a hug because you're scared of the IRS. Guardian Tax is the company that wins when you need it most.
Guardian Tax Service is really great to work with. They really help me out. I'd recommend them highly.
Call now for a free confidential consultation. 800-499-1424. 800-499-1424. 800-499-1424.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Ethos.
Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei told a financial conference in New York City that software-as-a-service firms that don't integrate AI into their products will likely go bankrupt or completely go bust. Amodei says software firms who aren't paying attention are going to be blindsided. Software firms Salesforce and Adobe have adopted AI, and shares in both companies are down significantly in 2026. I'm Jason Brooks.
Earn an accredited MBA in as few as 16 months for about $21K at University of Maryland Global Campus. Explore 10 specializations, including finance, HR, cyber technology, and more. Plus, showcase the value of your MBA with a comprehensive learner record and digitally demonstrate in-demand skills and credentials to employers. No application fee if you apply by June 1st. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by SCHEV.
My dad passed away unexpectedly. Of course, it was awful in every way, but we are very grateful that he had life insurance. So even after he was gone, he was still able to provide for us. And that's why I have life insurance for my family. Ethos.com. They make it fast and easy to get covered. It's 100% online. You get a quote in seconds, and you can apply in minutes. You get covered the same day.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/protect. That's ethos.com/protect. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required. Rates may vary.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. We're proud to offer high-quality, rechargeable hearing aids starting at just $98. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and hear the difference today by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Living here is about more than just the headlines. It's the new restaurant opening in Fishtown. It's the playoff energy at the bank. It's the festivals that make your neighborhood feel like home.
KYW News Radio brings you the pulse of the Delaware Valley. From service journalism that solves problems to stories that celebrate our culture, we cover the life you're actually living.
Authentic, local, factual. KYW News Radio, Philadelphia's most trusted news source.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Now back to the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
This is Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Oh, yeah. Little scar tissue, little Anthony Kiedis. We love Anthony Kiedis. Scar tissue. Look at that. With the birds, you look at the birds. With the birds in shade, it's a lonely view. I have to tell you that. It's very lonely. Very lonely. Wonder if Anthony Kiedis, California guy. Actually, I think he was born in Michigan, but wound up spending a lot of his life in California, Los Angeles. Wonder if he's going to vote Spencer Pratt. Probably not. Although, who knows? That song Californication, by the way, from Red Hot Chili Peppers, awfully prophetic, I'll tell you. Prophetic, not pathetic, just so anybody knows. Prophetic. Saw the future. This is such a legendary band. I really do. I love the Red Hot Chili Peppers. All right, let's jump into this 2024 autopsy. I've been teasing it, almost the entire show. It's like I'm going to keep teasing it till it's Monday. Which, by the way, I'll be with you Monday morning, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, filling in for all of Kale and Company. So we start at 6 a.m., in the words of the great Greg Stocker, who we had a great time this morning, by the way. I just took a giant dookie all over Philly. It was, they just put the clip up. It was really funny. Philly did break the Liberty Bell, but I'm not going to continue to, I can't continue to do that. I'm going to get yelled at now on X and all this other stuff. And frankly, I'm tired of being yelled at on X. I danced after Massey lost. I did the little Trump boogie. You would not believe. First of all, the lists and it was just wild. Just wild. All right. Democrats' 2024 autopsy report is out, painting a pretty dismal picture for Democrats. And this, by the way, is coming from CNN. This is not coming from Breitbart, Red State. It's not. This is not an excerpt from the Dan Bongino show. No shots taken at the Dan Bongino show. He's a right-wing commentator. He's an opinion host. He'll tell you that. This is from CNN. Okay? We go to the left to see what the left is saying about themselves. They're saying this autopsy report paints a pretty dismal picture for Democrats. Early in the report, it acknowledges that recent elections, including 24, have been close. It acknowledges this might lead some Democrats to argue for changes around the edges rather than a wholesale rethinking of the party's approach. But it rejects that more sanguine approach. This kind of thinking, denialist at its core, prevents the party from seeking real accountability and from making the changes we need to deliver on our promises to the American people. So you hear this at the beginning of the report and you say, all right, the Democrats are going to actually, address what they did wrong. No. Denialist is a great word. Absolutely denialist. Says that since Barack Obama's big 2008 win, the party has vacillated between stagnation and retrogression. And it notes that on the whole, Democrats have steadily lost ground since Obama's success. Some of the items here cast the Biden operation as having neglected Kamala Harris, as if she's the victim here. She definitely was the victim of something. A lot of it was, the implications of her opening her mouth. One response comes to mind, but she's on The View with Sonny Hostin. the American people clearly were souring on Joe Biden, or else he would have continued running. What would you do differently than Biden? Nothing comes to mind. Okay. Remember when she went Jamaican on Colbert, who's no longer on anymore. Bye. See ya. Have you no empathy, man? What? Have you no empathy, man? What are we doing? The autopsy report says former President Joe Biden's campaign and White House failed to set up Kamala Harris for success. Quote, as a result, at the moment of the candidate switch, the polling team discovered there was no self-research on the vice president to guide the development of the research instruments. You don't need, you see all this? All this complicated mumbo jumbo? You didn't need new polling to find out that she was unbelievably unpopular and not likable. And this goes back to part of the conversation earlier about the internet not being real life. Remember all the astroturfing around Kamala Harris and, you know, the betting markets and all those polls as soon as she was in the race? They reset the race. It was like a Jedi mind trick. The race is reset. These aren't the droids you're looking for. That wasn't the only criticism of the Biden operation in the autopsy report. Notice how they're going after Biden. They're not going after Harris. Why would you do that? Because Biden's not going to run again. He's well past the back nine of his career. But they can't take too many shots at Harris because that pulls their top polling, or one of the top polling names, and it basically craps on them in this report. So they took shots at Biden instead. It also faulted the Biden White House for not more aggressively working to contradict or correct the right-wing labeling of Harris as Biden's border czar. Her task instead dealt with the root causes. Oh, stop. This is CNN doing what CNN does. Still covering for her. Quote, the national campaign did not effectively drive Trump's negatives, and the White House did not effectively support Vice President Harris over 3.5 years to improve her standing before the candidate switch. That's because she's an incompetent buffoon. She was given the task of border czar or root causes czar or whatever. She went to the border twice in 4 years. Twice in 4 years. And one of the times that she was asked about the border, she said, well, I've never been to Europe either. The hell does that have to do with anything? I mean, yeah, was she hung out to dry a little bit by Biden? Sure. But even if, if the Biden campaign, the Biden White House had supported her more, you're telling me the results would have been different? Probably would have been worse, to be honest with you. This report is hilarious. It points to a broader failure to define Trump. This, again, by the way, I'm reading from a CNN piece, okay? So, for anybody who's going to tune in, Breitbart. It's not, this is CNN. The autopsy says there was a broader failure to remind Americans why they disliked Trump in his first term. Here's the problem. What were some of the reasons that the Democrats told you to dislike Trump in his first term? Russia, racist, right? The border, the wall is racist, the Fine People hoax, which is now the SPLC hoax. 2024, the bloodbath hoax, Stormy, classified documents, all this. It was all, January 6th, it was all nonsense, guys. So you can't remind someone, hey, remember that nonsense I told you that you figured out was nonsense? You should believe that nonsense again and hate Donald Trump. Especially when a lot of the country, I'm not saying a majority, but a good segment of the country, at least believed they soured on Trump. I think there are questions about 2020. I don't think that was a legit result. But, you see that you saw some people sour on him because they believed the nonsense, whether it was about Russia, January 6th, whatever it was, COVID, all this stuff. And, it's like, okay, we gave the Democrats the House, the Senate, and the presidency. And what happened? Crazy inflation, supply chain issues. Remember Bear Shelves Biden? That was a fun video I made in October of 2021 in a supermarket. We're at the Bear Shelves. There's nothing on here. It's empty like Crooked Joe's brain. So the country, hey, let's for the sake of the argument now say It was a legitimate election. The country gave the Democrats everything they needed. The president, the White House, right? The Senate, the House of Representatives. Carte blanche, do what you want. And they ruined it. The Afghanistan withdrawal, inflation. As I said, the supply chain issues. It was a disaster. Says the idea that Trump's negatives were baked in is a major failure of analysis and reality, given how his favorability has crashed later than a year into his term, depending on where you're reading it, by the way. The report says Democrats didn't match the negative firepower with which Trump managed to go after Harris, concluding that it was essential to prosecute a more effective case as to why Trump should have been disqualified from ever taking office again. Also says here that Kamala Harris and her campaign took too much for granted. Almost as if, she felt entitled. Which absolutely happened, and that was a problem. But that comes back to the whole she's not likable thing. People want you to, earn their vote. Not just coast into it and assume that you're going to win because much of the report seems to point to assuming things. Harris's focus on college-educated suburbs left gaps with Democrat North Carolina gubernatorial candidate Josh Stein at unwinnable levels. Harris lagged in rural areas nationally, which proved to be insurmountable in swing states. Harris wrote off rural America, assuming urban and suburban margins would compensate. The Harris campaign appears to have relied on Trump being unacceptable rather than building an affirmative case. Perhaps the most significant, it said she couldn't adequately define either herself or Donald Trump. Quote, Harris struggled with definition beyond not Trump and prosecutor versus felon. The truncated campaign timeline didn't help. I argued the other. I think if the shorter it was, the better it would have been for Kamala Harris. But the Trump and define Harris. That's because everything they tagged Trump in was debunked and people stopped taking those attacks seriously. They mentioned transgender once. It cast Trump's transgender ad as a very damaging ad to Harris. Perhaps no ad is more closely associated with the 2024 than the Trump campaign's anti. Kamala is for they/them. President Trump is for you. Brilliant, by the way. Brilliant. The autopsy cast the ad and Harris's comments, which it was based on, as irreconcilable problem. It said the campaign's pollsters all recognized the attack as very effective. The silver lining, it says, and I agree with this, is that it says Harris at least helped other Democrats more than Joe Biden. Down ballot, absolutely helped. There's one more big item here. We're not going to be able to get to it now. And then we'll close the book on the autopsy report. There's one more big item here, which is going to tie back to the beginning, what we were saying about the woke right, and everything here. It shows you what is effective and what is not effective in this American political ecosystem and arena. We'll get to that when we start the next hour. We're going to have a little bit of a fun break. We'll break things up here at the end of hour 2 coming up here. This is cool. Everyone's like, oh, stereotypes are bad. Well, have you ever wondered what the stereotypes of America are in foreign countries? This is a fun piece. We'll get into it in just a second. Shawn Farash here on Talk Radio 1210. Chime in as we continue to roll into Memorial Day weekend on the best radio station in the nation. And we'll be right back after this to wrap up hour 2.
There's a reason that potato chips don't come in a clear bag.
There's only 8 chips in this bag.
That's why. It's only about 2/3 full. The rest is air. It's a lot like opening up your 401k at retirement. You get about 2/3 of it, and the rest goes to Uncle Sam. Jim Cipriotti at the Retire Ready Financial Group can help. His tax mapping process can help forecast what your tax bill will be in the future, and that way you can build a strategy now to potentially decrease your tax bill in retirement. In other words, more for you and less for Uncle Sam. Call today for your complimentary retirement tax mapping report, 610-894-7415. That's 610-894-7415. Or find them online at retirereadyfg.com and get Uncle Sam's greedy hands out of your retirement.
Hey, you've had enough.
With a complimentary tax mapping report from Jim Cipriotti. Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, Retire Ready Financial Group, LLC, NPN number 2083768.
Hi, this is Larry Steinhaus, and I want to let you know that I buy houses. I buy houses from people that may be a tired landlord, maybe somebody who's having trouble selling their house, or maybe someone who needs to sell their house quickly. Well, all you need to do is call 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137, and I promise to answer the phone and help you with your situation. That's right, your house may be cluttered. It may be a house that a relative left you, or it may just be a house you just want to get rid of. 855-939-1137.
May weather is nice, but the summer heat is coming, and so are the high utility bills. Don't wait for your AC to start working overtime. Call Window Nation now. During Window Nation's May sale, buy 4 windows and get 4 free. That's right. Replace your windows and get half of them absolutely free. Plus, get 0 down and no payments or interest for 2 years. The experts at Window Nation will install your windows in 1 day or less. Beat the heat and save big. Schedule your free consultation at windownation.com.
Pet parents, there are many sources to buy your pet food these days, but at Dogs and Cats Rule, we take special care in selecting our brands based on quality of ingredients, company transparency, and science-based nutrition. Coming into a Dogs and Cats Rule store with a dietary issue, we can help select the proper food. The best part of the visit is the shopping experience. That's Dogs and Cats Rule with 7 locations. For information online, visit dogsandcatsrule.pet. Dogs and Cats Rule. Shop small, shop local, shop family.
Looking to elevate your home with timeless beauty? At Suburban Marble and Granite, a proud veteran-owned business, craftsmanship meets premium quality. They source only the finest imported stone from around the world, perfect for kitchens, bathrooms, slab walls, outdoor spaces, and custom projects that truly stand out. From design to installation, their team delivers A-plus service and stunning results every step of the way. Suburban Marble and Granite, endless possibilities, spectacular results. Visit suburbanmarble.com to get started today.
If you're in the Philadelphia area and caring for a loved one with Medicaid, get paid starting today. Freedom Care has already helped over 162,000 families get the care they deserve, with 97% satisfaction and more than 8,000 5-star reviews. If you have Medicaid, you need to hear this. You may qualify to choose a caregiver you already trust, a family member or friend, and they can start getting paid. No agencies, no strangers, just someone you know, helping with meals, medication, bathing, mobility, and more. This service isn't for later, it's for right now. It's 100% free to you through Medicaid, and caregivers get paid right away after their shift. Find out if you qualify today. Call 267-535-2174. That's 267-535-2174. Don't wait. Call 267-535-2174 now. Again, that's 267-535-2174. Freedom Care. Get paid to care starting now.
Free speech lives here. With Rich Zioli. Weeknights at 6. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. WPHT.
Yes, take me to the place I love. Take me all the way. Little Anthony Kiedis, Little Red Hot Chili Peppers, Under the Bridge. City of Angels. We'll see if Kiedis casts a vote for Spencer Pratt. That would be a good endorsement, right? Red Hot Chili Peppers endorse Spencer Pratt. All right, you ever wonder about stereotypes? Oh, stereotyping is a bad thing. Well, not if it's about Americans, right? Foreigners hilariously reveal the stuff branded United States. This fascinated me, by the way. It's like, what do other countries think of us? When I went to Australia many years ago, like one of the school kids were like, so does like everyone own a gun? Is it like a lot of guns? And I was like, not everyone, but there's a lot of guns. But they thought like, it was like Yosemite Sam everywhere, like draw, like this town ain't big enough for the two. This is from the New York Post, from their Weird But True section, which is a cool spot for like some silly stories like this. It was on May 13th, so not too long ago. This redefines what it means to be American. Do people in other countries have U.S. finger traps and little America? Residents of other nations are blowing United States residents labeled American back home, much of which isn't even popular in the United States. The discussion was sparked after a curious poster on Reddit posed the query, are there any things that are called American in other countries? You ready for this? This is great. Doritos are labeled American. Red Solo cups. In the U.S., we have French fries, Belgian waffles, Russian roulette, Greek yogurt, Chinese finger traps, etc. They pointed out in the culturally relativistic post. Foreigners were eager to bite, with many revealing the peculiar items that have been slapped with the moniker American. In Hungary, an American kitchen means it is not walled off from the living room, declared one Hungarian post. That checks out. We do love open floor plans. True. Another revealed that Norway labels bags of frozen diced carrots, peas, and other vegetables Amerikansk, or American mix. Sparked a debate in the comments with some red, white, and blooded Redditors claiming that this mix was not that American. Eggs of that exact veggie mix in the freezer at all times. Meanwhile, one Dutch poster chimed in. In the Netherlands, we have a popular bread topping called filet américain. It is basically steak tartare, raw beef, mixed with a mayo-based sauce with spices and condiments. It is very delicious, and as far as I know, has absolutely no connection to America. Potato wedges are called I can't pronounce that, which translates to American potatoes. One poster observed that ranch dressing is labeled American dressing in many countries. Cool Ranch Doritos are marketed as Cool American internationally, seemingly invoking the chip version of the immortal French McDonald's debate in Quentin Tarantino's. Coincidentally, ranch dressing was invented by Nebraskan plumber Steve Henson while he was cooking for workers at his Alaska ranch. In California, he and his spouse, Gail, established the Hidden Valley Ranch, and ranch eclipsed Italian dressing as the number one salad garnish by 1992. Ranch is good. I do love me some ranch dressing. Once in Thailand, I found a full English breakfast on a menu listed as eggs, bacon, beans, tomatoes, hash browns, and American food. Obviously, I ordered it to find out what the American food was. Hot dogs. Oh, that is so great. In Italy, I had an American pizza. It was a pizza with sliced hot dogs and French fries on top. Poster. Without a doubt, it was the worst pizza in Italy. Oh, my gosh. Meanwhile, one more of the Hungarian brethren claimed that they celebrated Independence Day with hot dogs and drinks in red Solo cups, dubbed American Party Cups. You spin on the Toby Keith song, right? American Party Cup.
I would actually kind of like to try that pizza, I'm not going to lie.
I mean, I'd definitely try it. It's probably awful, but I'd definitely try it. So there you go. Those are the stereotypes that other countries have about us. Doritos. Who knew? The Cool Ranch Doritos, by the way, are the real American Doritos because of the ranch dressing. It's just funny. Hot dogs. Hot dogs, baseball, apple pie, and Chevrolet. There you go. Here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, we'll go through that one more piece of that autopsy report. Then we'll move away from that story as we continue on today. Hour 2 is over. Hour 3 is next. Shawn Farash with you till 7 o'clock tonight. Don't go anywhere. 855-839 if you want to chime in. We're back to kick off Hour 3 after this.
There's one box that you'd run back into your burning house to grab. It's the box filled with your videotapes, film reels, and photos. Those sentimental, meaningful, irreplaceable moments. Hi, I'm Nick Mako.
And I'm Adam Baselogger. We started Legacy Box over a decade ago so that we could help families save their memories from being destroyed by floods or fires.
And it's not just natural disasters, Adam. Every day, videotapes and photos are slowly fading away, decaying, neglected in closets and attics.
Digitizing your old media stops fading, and preserving those recordings means they are safe forever. It's like magic, converting your shoebox of memories into digital files, ready to watch and share.
It's the only way to ensure your legacy is safe for generations. That's why over 1 million families have already trusted LegacyBox. LegacyBox is simple and easy, it works, and is safe. We'd love to preserve your family's collection. Don't wait, the risk is too great.
Visit legacybox.com/radio to save 50%. That's legacybox.com/radio to get started and save. legacybox.com/radio.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. If you have a 2004 or newer vehicle that's out of warranty or about to be, Endurance is urgently notifying U.S. drivers about their low-cost vehicle coverage plan designed to save drivers thousands on rising vehicle repair costs. Those who qualify can pick their plan, coverage, and repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental cars included. All covered repairs get paid directly to the repair shop for you. Call now for your free quote. Call 800-292-0975. 800-292-0975.
In Philadelphia, Chase is proud to root for the home team because they're our team too. We cheer from the bleachers and on the sidelines. We cheer for gymnasts and quarterbacks. And with more than 80 local Chase branches and 5,000 nationwide, we are right beside you, Philadelphia. Neighborhood bankers, digital tools, national strength. Chase, make more of what's yours.
JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Our yoga instructor challenged us to find inner peace. I found it faster than anyone. After 4 seconds, I stood up and screamed, "I found Nirvana! I win!" They asked me to leave. I guess they don't respect winning. Bet365 does, though. New customers get $200 in bonus bets just for betting $10. Namaste, losers. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Pennsylvania. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
Vindictive and selective. It's a massive victory for Abrego Garcia, a legal U.S. resident. His case has been a flashpoint in the president's immigration crackdown after he was mistakenly deported to El Salvador and returned, and then charged with 2 counts of human smuggling, to which he pleaded not guilty.
Authorities in northeastern Congo have banned funeral wakes and gatherings of more than 50 people to curb a rapidly spreading Ebola outbreak. The World Health Organization says the outbreak poses a very high risk for Congo, with 82 cases and 7 deaths confirmed. The outbreak is believed to be larger, with 750 suspected cases. The head of U.S. intelligence is stepping down. Tulsi Gabbard says her husband was recently diagnosed with an extremely rare form of bone cancer. Her departure will create an opening in a crucial role overseeing the 18 agencies that comprise the nation's intelligence community amid the war with Iran. CBS News national security contributor Samantha Vinograd.
The key point here is not whether there's an acting director or a confirmed director. The key point here is whether there's an individual as the director of national intelligence whom the president actually turns to for inputs, and then whether or not the president actually integrates those inputs into decision making.
Kevin Warsh has been sworn in as the new chairman of the Federal Reserve. He replaces Jerome Powell, with whom President Trump frequently criticized when it came to movement on interest rates.
I will lead a reform-oriented Federal Reserve, learning from past successes and mistakes both, escaping static frameworks and models, and upholding clear standards of integrity and performance.
The U.S. stock market closes out its 8th straight winning week. The Dow jumps 294 points, the Nasdaq closed up 51, and the S&P 500 rose 28 points. Ross Stores, Workday, and Zoom Communications helped drive the market higher. This is CBS News.
I want to know what's going on in the world. I'm Tony. There are big questions that all of us are asking. I want to get you the answers. How are you? I'm Tony DeCopel. Join me on the CBS Evening News.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids. Rolaids' dual-active formula has calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. Yeah, you heard right. 2 actives for that powerful relief. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolade spells powerful relief. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Ready or not, summer is coming, and Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance is on now. Right now through May 25th, get up to 70% off everything home at Wayfair. Plus, score amazing doorbuster deals all sale long and surprise flash deals on Memorial Day. We're talking thousands of products at every style and budget. Now is the time to save big on must-haves for your patio, backyard, and beyond. These savings won't last, so don't wait. Shop Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance now through May 25th.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Talk about a fancy slice of pie.
If you've been searching for the ultimate slice, look no further than a pizza place in Philly. Marina's in Fishtown serves up a piece of pie topped with a blend of imported Italian cheeses, along with a 1-ounce jar of premium caviar. It comes on a gold plate with a mother-of-pearl spoon to spread the tiny eggs as you like. The price, $55 a slice. You do get to keep the spoon and whatever's left in the caviar jar, but you have to give the plate back when you're finished. If that's too rich for you, a slice of margarita at Marina's is $5. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Competitive eater Joey Chestnut is on probation after pleading guilty to a misdemeanor battery charge. The reigning champion and 7-time winner of Nathan's famous international hot dog eating contest will still compete in the July 4th spectacle. Chestnut's attorney says his client was accused of slapping a man during a night out at an Indiana bar. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses, or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code GO to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code GO to borrow up to $10,000. Use code GO to borrow up to $10,000.
WPHT HD WOGL HD3 Philadelphia from the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. Now, The Drive at 5. 30 minutes of nonstop talk from Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
It's a 4-hour Farash Friday. Turn the radio loud. Shawn is on 1210, firing up the crowd. Shawn Farash, he's got the greatest imitation.
Nobody does a better job as
Trump lines. He's the best in the nation. You know he's wearing flannel.
True.
Or a MAGA red tie on WPHT 3 to 7. Yeah, he's doing it live. It's a Farash Friday. Turn the volume up high. He'll inform and entertain you, and the hours fly by. Farash Friday. Now the whole city knows that the weekend starts when the last segment rolls. Nobody knows what the man's gonna hold. It's Farash Friday. It's Radio Gold.
Beautiful job. There he is. Newman Price, outdoing himself every time we play one of those things. By the way, it's a lot better than the Democrats singing, you know, when they all get on the steps of the hill, Capitol Hill, or wherever they're at, and it's that noise, whatever they like to make. Yeah, okay, there it is. Great job. Thank you, Newman Price. That was funny. I felt like that to me felt like what's that song? Somewhere Beyond the sea, right somewhere, watching for me. That's what it felt like. One of those I felt like I was on a cruise, not a Carnival cruise, especially not when they run out of chicken. That makes Fight Club. All right. That was fun. It's always a good time. That was hilarious. All right. Here we go. Let's see. Why don't we start with a call? I think we can start with a call, and then we'll jump into the final portion of this because we have the drive at 5 here. We got a little bit of a longer segment. We can start with a call. I love callers. It's my favorite part of radio, interacting with everybody. Dan Bongino talks about this all the time. He does the live stream on Rumble, 50,000 people watching his stream. The chat's going crazy. And this is the same way I equated live streaming when I started live streaming back in 2021. Was basically, it's like having thousands of callers all at once in the live chat. Sometimes it's a little overstimulating. So sometimes I click away from some of the chats. I don't want to get too distracted, but I do love call-in shows, and I do love having people call in. So let's go to Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Let's go to Michael. Michael, you're on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Hey, Shawn, awesome show. Hey, have you caught any of President Trump's speaking engagement for Lawler up in Rockland County today? He is on fire.
Who is? Trump is on fire?
Well, not literally, but just.
Well, I know, not literally. Yeah. What is he saying? I haven't caught any of it. No, I haven't. We've been, doing different segments here. What are some of the things he said that are great? Tell me.
He talked about one of his cognitive tests and how he identified a horse. That's amazing. He is so smart.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably better than what you could do, right? It's probably better than what you could do, right? Do you know what a horse looks like? How many legs does a horse have? Michael, how many, Michael, Mike, we're going to play this game. If you're going to keep talking, we're going to put you back on hold and time out, and then we'll bring you back when you're ready to behave. You want to play that game? We'll treat you like a kid. How many legs does a horse have, Mike?
4.
4, very good. What is the difference between a man and a woman, chromosome-wise?
X versus Y.
Okay, good. Who has XY chromosomes?
I haven't taken biology for a while.
Oh, he's not a biologist. Ketanji Brown Jackson is in the chat. Very good. Okay, what else did Donald Trump boast about on stage? Now that you're on here, because I know exactly who I'm talking to. You're the same loser who always calls in all the time. You troll people, which is great. I actually happen to think it's fun. The fact that I happen to think it's fun. I happen to Mikey, listen to me. Okay, I happen to think it's fun that you pay such close attention to me. I have asked you a question. If I wasn't on the radio, what would you be doing?
Well, I'm on my way to the gym right now. So as soon as
no, you're not. You're not on the way to the gym. What? You're going to go to the gym. You're going to walk in and you're going to walk out.
I'm in Mommy's basement eating Hot Pockets. Right.
No, Fritos today. You eat Hot Pockets on Thursdays. Today's Friday. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Frito Friday. It's Frito Friday, Mike. It's Lubriderm, Mike. Right. Come on. Let me ask you a question. If I wasn't on the radio, what would you be doing with your time?
Well, you'd go from 1 listener to 0, so that would.
No, that's not No. I had Jose from Philly before, so I wouldn't have 0. He's still on. We had a great conversation. Mike, if I wasn't on the radio, what would you be doing? That's my question.
I'd go to the mall because I want to figure out how to dress like a 7th grader.
Who goes to malls, dude? It's not 1998 anymore, big guy. If I wasn't on the so you're gonna let me waste your time? I am that important to you that you're going to let me eat up your Memorial Day weekend, Mike? That's what you're gonna do? So what you're basically saying is your life. Wait. What you're basically saying is, Mike, your life revolves around me. I'm honored. I am the center of your universe. You have been doing this with me for years. I have been the center of your universe for 3 years. I'm honored. You're like my biggest fan. I really do appreciate you. And I know what's going to happen later. I'm going to get an email from you about, Trump cultists and all this, because this is what always happens, and I don't answer them because it drives you nuts
Shawn,
that the center of your universe... Michael, shut up. Put him back on hold. We'll bring him back in. Put him in timeout. I am the center of Michael's universe, and he calls her a different name all the time, okay? If I wasn't on the radio, he said he'd be in a mall. No. he would be doing Frito Friday. But I just find it great. The only purpose that this guy has is to call me. I'm honored. Put him back on again if he's still there. We'll give him one last go. You there, Mike? You there?
Look, yes.
Center of the universe. No. You have to address me, though. My pronouns, Michael, are center of my universe. So go ahead. Address me. Go ahead.
I'm sure no one thinks less of you.
Acknowledge me, Mike. Acknowledge me, Mike. Acknowledge me.
Him, they, her.
No.
Yeah,
I am the center of your universe. I give your life purpose, Michael. Acknowledge me.
Well, what does that make the other losers that
acknowledge? No. Acknowledge me as the center of your universe and the thing that gives your life meaning. If I wasn't on the radio, your life would have no meaning. You'd have nothing to do. Nothing to do.
Right.
All right, hang up. Get him out. He's done. We're done. He didn't like the fact that I called myself the center of his universe. I love this guy, actually. I love when he calls in, and the description of it was very accurate. He identified a horse. Guy doesn't know the difference between a man and a woman. And like I said, hate watchers and hate listeners are some of my favorite people because I always ask, if I wasn't on, what would you be doing? Well, I'd be going to the gym. No, your fat ass isn't going to no gym. You might go. You might go to the gym. We're not going to do anything in the gym. Now, for example, let's contrast this to somebody who's actually in shape. I went into my garage before coming on the air, and I ran, I sprinted, I did some stuff with the kettle. I actually did things with the stuff, in a home gym. You could go to the parking lots. I'm at the gym. What are you doing? Nothing. If I wasn't on, this guy would have nothing to do. So I am the center of his universe. I give his life purpose. It's my favorite thing. You're not going to out-troll one of the all-time greatest trolls in the history of the world. That would be yours truly. You're just not going to do it. You like the game, by the way, that we played? Put him in timeout and then bring him back? That's a fun game, is it not? That's a fun game. I learned that from David Webb. He did that a few times. And Andrew Wilkow has done that a few times, too. There you go. All right, here we go. Oh, we got another call coming in. Cool. Let's jump on. We're going to jump on this one in just a second. I want to touch on this one last bit from the Democrats' 2024 autopsy report. It suggests a shift, the Democrats' autopsy report does, away from identity politics and towards middle-class appeal. Oh, no. You mean to tell me that voters don't want to hear about their skin color anymore? You mean to tell me that voters want to hear about actual issues? What?
Who do you think you are?
Who do you think you are saying things like that? No way! One phrase repeatedly gets mentioned derisively in the autopsy report: identity politics. It's repeatedly cast as a crutch that the Democrats need to move away from in favor of kitchen table issues like affordability and middle class appeal. The report says Stein in North Carolina's huge win showed how to focus less on abstract issues and identity politics and connect with voters on the issues they say matter most, including the economy, disaster relief, and addressing housing affordability. Jackie Rosen of Nevada and Ruben Gallego showed how year-round presence, economic messaging, and addressing cost of living concerns resonate more than identity politics. It cast Stein, Gallego, and Alyssa Slotkin of Michigan, all as candidates who are able to speak effectively to middle-class voters, rural voters, and or Latino voters in ways other Democrats could not. Oh, so you mean calling Spanish people Latinx didn't work out for you? Wow, who could have seen that one coming? Would have saw that one coming. You mean when Jill Biden said, oh, the Spanish people in this district are as diverse as the breakfast taco. Breakfast. You called a bunch of Latinos breakfast tacos. You mean to tell me that didn't work out too well? Kamala Harris going on, Univision? And she puts on the Spanish accent. First of all, is your house okay? Is your family okay? That didn't work? So the Joe Biden, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. And Kamala, joy cometh in the morning, right? What, the Baptist preacher shtick from Kamala Harris didn't work? Okay. It casts Republicans as just better at politics. We are better at politics. We are better at politics. We are better on policy. We are better on debate. We're better on humor. We have a sense of humor. The left doesn't have a sense of humor. And we're better at policing our own. If Thomas Massey was running on the Democrat side of things and he was in touch with the youth and the radical fringe, the Israel stuff, he would have won in a Democrat primary. No doubt about it. Because the Democrats don't police their own. They let their radicals grab the wheel and hijack the entire movement. We said no. We said no. And, Jose in Philly brought up a very good point. There is a split, an ideological split with younger GOP voters right now. But again, how do we gauge that? And I'm not trying to take any sort of shots at Jose in Philly because he brought up a good point. So I just want to be very clear. The big data poll from Rich Barris, which was off by 10 points, found this big discrepancy between the youth and the older Republican voters. Valid. Even if that poll wound up being, missing big in terms of the final result, other polls found the same trend. Okay? But a lot of those younger voters are likely living online. And when they experience more normal people in the real world, I think that maybe those sentiments may shift a bit. It's also on us to reach them and say, look, what you're believing in here is propaganda. What you're believing in here can be debunked. Rather than say Israel is the problem and is the biggest issue in the world is AIPAC, we'll have a conversation about our relationship with every foreign country, not just one foreign country. That's a fixable issue. Why have the youth been corrupted? Because we have allowed's a bad word, because I'm not arguing for censorship here. Matter of fact, I like it when Nick Fuentes talks more. We give Nick Fuentes, well, not we give him a platform, but, X, for example, lets him on that platform. Rumble lets him on that platform. Where would we be? Because a lot of us have been pointing at a guy like Fuentes saying, this guy's an op, this guy's a Democrat plant, this guy's not to be trusted, he's not on our side, it's not infighting. If he was banned off of all, places of the internet, he was underground, we wouldn't have these clips of him saying, I'm voting Democrat, I'm a moderate Democrat. Well, because we allow him to speak, the freedom to speak, freedom of speech allows you to be stupid and say things that are essentially self-incriminating. We can now point to that and say, look, I told you so. But the point of the matter here, this final point here in the Democrat autopsy report, it says it casts Republicans as just better at politics. And we are better at politics. However, when it comes to ground game, when it comes to winning elections, ballot harvesting and early voting and turnout and all that, the Democrats, I hate to say it, have the edge there. But they don't have to. And Kirsten Pels, who joined us in the first hour, brought up, some of the new strategies and tactics that the Republican Party is going to be employing ahead of the 2026 midterms, which gives me some hope. All right, let's go to South Philly. Go to another call here. It's Amelia. Amelia's calling from South Philly. You're on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. What's up, Amelia? Amelia, are you there?
Margaret, am I baby? All right, let me get your stuff.
Uh-oh.
I have two little T-shirts, look, and I got my Knickknacks.
I think Amelia is in the middle of...
we'll try and get her back.
Yeah, we'll try and get her back. I think she was in the middle of... Sounded like Target? Is that what she was? Target? Yeah? A couple T-shirts, it sounded like. We could have wiretapped that whole thing and just let it sit and said, what is Amelia going to say? But then you never know what's going to happen. You can have some dirty words on there. All right. We'll try and get Amelia back. You guys let me know if we can get her back, because I'm interested to hear what she has to say. Even if it's next segment, it's okay. This is an article from May 14th, kind of foreshadowed the autopsy report, having to do again with some of the intra-party drama over with the Democrat Party. It's not a rosy picture for Democrats. They're having a hard time raising money. Now, as Kirsten Pels mentioned, there are dark money groups and NGOs and nonprofits and all that are funding the cause also. But they are suppressing their intra-party issues. The Republican infighting narrative, there's a little bit of truth to that. I would be lying if I said there's no infighting. No, there's some. But some of it is legitimately infighting. Some of it, I think most of it actually, off of social media, again, is debate. Debate is healthy. Debate is how you employ the cliche iron sharpens iron. Democrats don't like debate. I think this narrative that you see on social media about infighting, the right is all, it's a circular firing squad. A lot of that is a little bit of projection, I'd say, right? This article on Red State, it's an interesting article, it came out last week, but it's about 8 days old. But the 2024 autopsy kind of reinforces the idea of this piece on Red State. This is from, I think, is it Ward Clark? No, Nick Arama. He's another good one over at Red State. Redistricting has made things closer. On top of redistricting, Democrats still have the problem that the voters don't think very highly of them. CNN senior data analyst Harry Enton explained that in addition to redistricting, which is likely to deliver more seats to Republicans, but you've got to turn out, the generic congressional ballot numbers have gotten worse since March. The AP dropped a piece about internal conflict among Democrats inside the Fuhrer-plaguing Democrat National Committee leader Ken Martin. Amanda Littman, who leads the Democrat allied organization Run for Something, said she has been approached by senior strategists in recent days, gauging her interest in replacing Ken Martin. According to the report, the disturbance about Martin is making him increasingly paranoid, even inside Democrat Party headquarters, and it could make it harder for them to win in November, while undermining faith in the DNC as it coordinates the party's next presidential nomination process. Kirsten Pels, when she was on with us, spokesperson and press secretary, national press secretary for the RNC, mentioned the Democrat Party is in debt. The DNC reported $22.1 million in cash on hand with $18.4 million in debt at the end of the month of March, according to its most recent federal filing. The RNC, by contrast, reported $116.8 million in the bank with zero debt. Now, I remember when I was reading this article for the first time saying, great, you have a lot of money. How are you going to spend it? How are you going to spend it? Well, we heard from Kirsten Pels, the press secretary for the RNC, that they do intend to spend it on ground game. There is no better way to win an election than to send an army of people door to door. I give the Massey campaign credit and Young Americans for Liberty, YAL. They were paying people to knock doors for Thomas Massey. The problem they had was the candidate wore out his welcome. 14 years in Kentucky's 4th congressional district, nothing got accomplished. Right? So you can have a strong ground game, but if you have a bad candidate or a candidate that people are tired of, then it won't matter. But in many cases, we have contrast messaging. We've got some fresh candidates. We've got good candidates. Ground game wins elections. Ground game wins elections. These battles, local, state, federal, whatever, are won in the trenches. On doorsteps, in living rooms. I'll bring up 3 examples. One, I know firsthand. I was involved firsthand. Kenneth Barrett for sheriff, county-wide race. I am fairly confident that in saying that campaign, which I and my wife and I were extremely excited to be a part of the primary, and we're still involved in the general, big time, had the most robust ground game in the county, bar none, in that sheriff's race. Number 2, Chris Rose of West Virginia. For those of you who watch my show on Rumble, rumble.com/LFATV, Chris Rose is a state senator in State Senate District 2 in West Virginia. He was outspent, are you ready for this? 25-1 in 2024. $1.2 million was dropped on him, and he won his primary by 20-plus points. Why? Because he knocked on tens of thousands of doors, him and 2 other volunteers. Ground game, wins, elections. Number 3, Mike Collins of Georgia. He's in a primary for U.S. Senate. He was outspent 15-1 in a 3-way primary. He came in first. He's advancing to the June 16th runoff. Mike Collins understands. Ground game wins elections. And by the way, if we're reaching anybody in Georgia over on YouTube, he's my pick for Senate. I've met him. Great guy, hard worker, very organized, and will be a rock star in the Senate. And I believe he's the only guy who can beat Ossoff because he works hard. And he doesn't need the money to be. It obviously helps, but he doesn't need it. All right. When we come back, we'll see if we can. When we come back, okay, it looks like Amelia's gone. When we come back, we've got a couple of calls. We've got someone from Nashville. Oh, this is going to be great. Hey, Tyler from Nashville. Hang out. We're going to be back on the other side, and we will get to your calls. And I want to hear from you, Tyler. So hang out. I see you, and I also see you, Frank from Burlington, has an interesting comment, and I think I agree with where he's going. So we will get to both of those calls on the other side of this break. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, 855-839-1210. I cannot wait to get back from break already. We've got a couple of calls waiting. We've got a lot more to do. Don't go anywhere. Shawn Farash taking you all the way to 7 o'clock here on the best radio station in the nation. Stay right there. We're back after this.
Now you can listen to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the iHeartRadio app.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Spring cleaning isn't just for your house, it's for your life. If your job is getting old, it's time to clear the clutter and spring into IT. Go to My Computer Career.
My Computer Career helped me get the skills and certifications I needed to start a new life as an IT professional in months, not years.
Earn the certifications the top employers are looking for right now. Visit mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation to see if it's time to spring into IT. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Philadelphia, we've got a problem. Home care is in crisis and there aren't enough caregivers to meet the demand. So if you've got a loved one with Medicaid and needs care, don't wait. Freedom Care was built for this moment. We help you get care at home from someone you already trust, a family member or friend who can get paid to help with everyday needs like meals, medication, bathing, and mobility. If you have Medicaid, it's 100% free to you. No waiting lists, just real care from your people right now. Freedom Care handles it all, training, payroll, and support, so you can stay safe and comfortable at home, and your caregiver gets paid after every shift guaranteed. With 97% satisfaction and over 150 million hours of care delivered, Philly families are already making the switch to care at home. Take care of your own and get paid with Freedom Care. Call 267-489-1601. That's 267-489-1601. Call now. 267-489-1601. 267-489-1601.
Picking out an engagement ring can be terrifying. You're searching for the ring, but have no idea where to start. Go to Family & Company Jewelers in Marlton. The team, especially JR, makes it easy. No pressure, just real help from someone who cares. They break down diamonds, styles, and what actually matters. Their selection is huge. Every shape, size, and price range. You leave confident, not overwhelmed. When it comes to finding the ring, there's only one place to go. Family & Company Jewelers, South Jersey's diamond destination.
Hey, it's Nick Cale here, and your life has many dimensions, and now there's an SUV engineered to support every one of them. My friends from Piazza Mazda put me behind the wheel of the new 2026 Mazda CX-5, the most spacious CX-5 yet, with more room for both passengers and cargo. Feel complete control like I did with the 15-inch touchscreen and built-in Google technology. Experience the all-new 2026 CX-5 for yourself today at Piazza Mazda of Westchester or in Reading. How's inventory online at PiazzaMazda.com.
Life doesn't slow down, and planning your financial future can feel overwhelming. That's where Monastra Financial Group comes in. Whether you're preparing for retirement, managing a 401k, or protecting what matters most, their team offers personalized guidance built around you. With a straightforward approach, they help turn complex decisions into clear, confident steps forward. Take control of your financial future today. Text Mike Monastra at 484-471-4879. That's 484-471-4879.
You've walked past that kitchen 1,000 times, and every time you thought, someday, well, this May, someday is right now. Hey, Dawn Stensland here. Kitchen Magic in Nazareth is offering up to 30% off with financing options for every budget. They're a family-owned business transforming local kitchens and bathrooms since 1979, and they love to transform yours. Stop putting it off. KitchenMagic.com. Finally, get the kitchen you've always wanted. KitchenMagic.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Broadcasting live from the Piazza Auto Group studios. Experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Welcome back here, 537 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. A little bit of sweet emotion. Oh, we are going to have some sweet emotion. All right. Tyler in Nashville is waiting to talk to us. And I could not have bigger air quotes floating above. I've been briefed on this call, folks. This may buckle up. This is the no, not that one. This one. That's the alarm going off. Buckle up, because we're going to Nashville. We're going to hear from Tyler. What's up, air quotes, Tyler from air quotes Nashville? You're on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. What's going on?
Hey, loser. Do you have any listeners at all? I mean, this is pretty pathetic.
I got you, brother. What's up?
That's not saying much.
What are you saying? Are you saying you're not a significant person by saying I have you listening? I had you listening, and not only do I have you listening, I had you waiting on hold to talk to me. You were literally waiting in line to talk to me.
I'm on a spin bike. I've been sitting here anyway.
You're on a spin bike?
Yes.
And what are you doing on that spin bike?
Mountain climbing. What do you think?
You're mountain climbing on a spin bike. Let me ask you a question.
Yep.
How far up your rear end is the seat on the spin bike?
Hey, does anyone think less of you because you support a pedophile protector?
How far up your backside has that seat gone over the course of the last break? How far have you managed to move it up all the way?
Is your wife embarrassed that you support a guy that's a pedo, possibly?
A pedo? Oh, possibly. Someone doesn't want to get sued, huh? What? Let me ask you a question. What proof do you? Wait. What happened to your fake Southern accent, Ty? What happened to your fake Southern accent?
It fell on the floor somewhere.
Okay, good. All right, you weren't that fun this time. Let me ask you a question. If I wasn't on right now, what would you be doing?
Remember when Trump said he would only accept unconditional surrender from Iran?
Can I ask you if I wasn't on right now, what you'd be doing?
Do you remember that?
Can you answer my question first? This is my show, not yours. What would you be doing if I wasn't on?
I beat up 3 cops during J6. How much will I get paid for that?
What would you be doing if I wasn't on?
If I beat up 5 cops during
Tyler.
J6, will I get paid
All
more?
right.
You are not a smart person.
Get him out. See you later. There he goes. That guy sucked. Sometimes the trolls are fun. That guy sucked.
Yeah, that was a disappointment.
Not a smart person, though. Definitely not a smart person.
He didn't even answer with the Southern accent. I was looking forward to that.
No. Yeah. It's a shame. He'll probably be back. You see, this is what happens with these people who are obsessed. They won't stop, which is great. You know, do you have any listeners? Well, I have you waiting on hold. That's the second call of the day. So, yes, center of the universe. Now, let's go to somebody who I actually do enjoy. Frank from Burlington. We've had a bunch of really good conversations here. Frank from Burlington has an opinion about the decision to strike Iran, and I think it's valid. It's worth having the conversation. So let's go to Frank. You're on 1210 WPHT. What's up, Frank?
Hey, Shawn. Oh, listen, just to let you know, I'm not working out, and I've cracked my second beer of the Friday. So,
what are you drinking? What kind of beer?
I'll work out eventually, maybe in the next couple of years, and I really do commit to that. I guess
Frank, what beer are you drinking first? What beer are you drinking?
Yingling.
Oh, good choice. America's first brewery. Let's go. Good choice. Okay, go ahead. What's up?
Yeah, it's a great beer, and I love their lager. It's a little hoppy. Anyway, I spoke to you before, and we've talked about this. And at that time, you really believed the best option was to go to war. And I didn't think it was morally wrong. I thought it was kind of not a bad choice. But after I thinking about it, it really was a horrible choice in terms of timing. Like, I don't understand, and you tell me, why Trump would have chosen before the midterms and then after the midterms. And I know everyone's, he's playing 4-dimensional chess, you know, and I don't really believe that was the national front.
I don't like that answer, right? The four-dimensional chess thing is definitely, I'm not a big fan of that answer. So let me explain what I think happens, right? So, you know, in January, Trump did the Venezuela thing, got Maduro out of there. That was quick. That was easy. People thought that was going to result in a war, and it didn't. I think Donald Trump truly believed a couple things. And it's not to say he got fooled, because as Napoleon said, you know, one of the best military minds ever, right? No plan survives contact with the enemy. So I think he thought that he was going to be able to take out the Ayatollah, drop a bunch of bombs, take out a lot of their capabilities, and they would surrender. And they didn't, right? Because this is not a typical, you know, foreign country. This is a theocracy, right? This is what they live for, is this fight. So they're not going to go away until they've been put away, right? So I also believe that Donald Trump thought there would be an uprising of the Iranian people by this time, and there hasn't been. They were trying to arm them. The Kurds stole the guns. So I think there were a bunch of things they thought were going to happen that would help this thing resolve soon, and it didn't. Now, I have gone on record on my show, and I have said, if the gas situation is not resolved, you know, gas prices, this war, etc., by Memorial Day weekend, and here we are, it's going to hurt Republicans in the midterms. So, and I stand by that. I think it's going to be an issue. And so, to your point, going to war with Iran prior to the midterms, from that standpoint, may have been a mistake. Now, the reason why I think he did it, I think they were getting close to a nuke. I know we've heard that for 47 years, but they've got uranium enriched to 60%. It takes a couple of weeks to get that to weapons grade. If they have, and Marco Rubio said this a couple of weeks ago, and I've been saying this too, with regards to the Strait of Hormuz. Could you imagine how much more difficult things would be, whether it's gas prices, the Strait of Hormuz, or any other geopolitical discussions, if Iran had the leverage of a nuclear weapon, right? So I still stand by the idea of stop them from getting a nuke, prevent that, because a nuclear armed Iran is impossible to deal with. You can still deal with them now. Nuclear armed Iran, you will not be able to deal with. They're going to hold the whole world hostage, right? So I'm with you, though. I agree, Frank, that the timing was poor. But I don't know. I don't have the access to the information to say if he had waited, would that have allowed Iran to obtain a nuclear weapon? And then there's no going back, right? So that's where I am on that. But I don't think it's four-dimensional chess. And I do think there is an issue here with the price of gas, whether it's right or wrong. The American public blames the president for gas prices on both sides. Remember Biden with the "I did that" stickers. So that's an issue. And I wanted it to be resolved by now. It hasn't been resolved. I'm not renouncing my support, right? And saying, this is it, I'm not voting. But I will concede and admit this is a negative at this point.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I think what you were saying in terms of him not kind of understanding the mentality of a religious zealot, but in an evil way. They really think when they die, they're going to have like 24 virgins, like
72 virgins, and all of this, and how many of them are goats? I have no idea. But no, this is the, that's
how do you fight that? And the other thing is, now I'm hearing that other areas that we could have like gone after in terms of their electrical systems and stuff. He's basically putting people, Iran's putting people in there to say, okay, you're not going to kill innocent people, so we know that you're not going to go after them. So I don't know. I'm kind of like you. Like I wasn't against him doing it. I just wish he would have waited a little later. If we could have waited just like 6 months or whatever.
The only question we have is, did he have 6 months, or would they have gotten a nuclear weapon before then? And that's what Bongino, who's one of my favorites, refers to as a level 10 decision. There's a bad decision and a worse decision, and sometimes you have to take the least worst. And the least worst may have been going to war now, so that you can guarantee they don't get a nuclear weapon, even if it means some political issues ahead of this very important election. What's more important to me? Iran not having a nuclear weapon or preventing the Democrats from winning the House? First and foremost, I got to say, I don't want Iran to have a nuclear weapon, because then there is no negotiating with them, So,
but what worries me, Shawn, the only thing that really worries me is if we lose the House and possibly lose the Senate. Literally, I mean, let's be honest, the Democrats, there's never been any moral foundation to that party since slavery.
Correct.
So it's it's all, it will be chaos and evil after that. And that's
you're right. You're right. The only thing, though, is we still have the president, right, who has his veto power, and you would have to just stem the tide and start all over again in 28 and try and run a campaign. Say, look, they won the House, they won the Senate, and they kept pushing ridiculous stuff. So there's a lot that is still there's 5.5 months left before the midterms. But I'm with you on I could say frustration on my side that this isn't resolved yet. And it will be politically damaging. How damaging? I don't know, because we're not like fighting, but it's not resolved, right? So that's part of the problem. Thank you for the call, Frank. I always appreciate hearing from you. Thank you so much, Frank from Burlington. Excellent caller, every time. Excellent caller. And I got to tell you, I mean, I can't disagree with what he said, and I've said it on my show. I've said Memorial Day, and Andrew Wilkow has said the same thing as another guy I look up to in the space. I think he's great at what he does on Sirius XM Patriot. Memorial Day, if this gas situation wasn't resolved, and it hasn't been, and there's nothing wrong with saying that, and that's my opinion. I could be wrong, but I'm not saying Trump is a failure and this is terrible, right? But it could be politically damaging ahead of the midterms. That's just, I feel like that's a fact. I feel like that's an objective truth, but, you're free to disagree. And if anyone does disagree and says, no, it's not going to hurt us ahead of the midterms, give me a call. 855-839-1210. I'd love to hear the other side. Now, this is not me saying, wrap it up, let Iran get a nuke. No. Now you've got to make sure they don't get a nuclear weapon, and Trump seems to be committed on that. And I think a nuclear-armed Iran is worse than the Democrats controlling the House for 2 years. For the record, I don't think they're going to win the Senate. I don't. But that remains to be seen how much of an impact the war has on the midterms as we get closer. All right. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back. I got another fun story at the end of this hour. We will have a fun story. Something is going on in Texas. There are quite literally like exotic wild animals on the loose being caught in Texas. This is hysterical. Maybe those animals are getting ready to vote for Ken Paxton in the primary runoff next week on the 26th. We'll be right back here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT for a fun wild animal story and then some. 855-839-1210 if you want to call in. Would love to hear from you about anything that is on your mind. Shawn Farash taking you all the way till 7 o'clock here on this beautiful Memorial Day weekend Friday. And we'll be right back with more after this.
There's one box that you'd run back into your burning house to grab. It's the box filled with your videotapes, film reels, and photos. Those sentimental, meaningful, irreplaceable moments. Hi, I'm Nick Mako.
And I'm Adam Baselogger. We started Legacy Box over a decade ago so that we could help families save their memories from being destroyed by floods or fires.
And it's not just natural disasters, Adam. Every day, videotapes and photos are slowly fading away, decaying, neglected in closets and attics.
Digitizing your old media stops fading, and preserving those recordings means they are safe forever. It's like magic, converting your shoebox of memories into digital files, ready to watch and share.
It's the only way to ensure your legacy is safe for generations. That's why over 1 million families have already trusted Legacy Box. Legacy Box is simple and easy, it works, and is safe. We'd love to preserve your family's collection. Don't wait, the risk is too great.
Visit legacybox.com/radio to save 50%. That's legacybox.com/radio to get started and save. legacybox.com/radio.
This is it. It's the big Memorial Day sale now through Monday at TurnersvilleJeep.com. Save big this weekend on a huge selection of over 300 Jeeps and Ram trucks. Don't have a down payment? No problem. We work with dozens of banks who offer 0 down payments and no payments for 90 days. To qualified buyers. Don't miss the huge Memorial Day week sale. Today through Monday at TurnersvilleJeep.com. Just minutes from all bridges. Or online 24/7 at TurnersvilleJeep.com.
There's a reason that potato chips don't come in a clear bag.
There's only 8 chips in this bag.
That's why. It's only about 2/3 full. The rest is air. It's a lot like opening up your 401k at retirement. You get about 2/3 of it, and the rest goes to Uncle Sam. Jim Cipriotti at the Retire Ready Financial Group can help. His tax mapping process can help forecast what your tax bill will be in the future, and that way you can build a strategy now to potentially decrease your tax bill in retirement. In other words, more for you and less for Uncle Sam. Call today for your complimentary retirement tax mapping report, 610-894-7415. That's 610-894-7415, or find them online at retirereadyfg.com. And get Uncle Sam's greedy hands out of your retirement.
Hey, you've had enough.
With a complimentary tax mapping report from Jim Cipriotti. Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, Retire Ready Financial Group, LLC, NPN number 2083768.
In Philadelphia, when property damage hits, there's one name more homeowners and business owners trust than anyone else. Morano's Public Adjustment Group, the #1 public adjuster in Philly. Why? Because they don't work for the insurance company, they work for you, fighting to get you the maximum settlement you deserve. Fire, water, storm damage, even denied or underpaid claims. Morano's knows how to win. Don't settle for less. Call the team Philadelphia trusts most. Visit Morano'sAdjustment.com or call today. Morano's Public Adjustment Group, Philadelphia's #1 public adjuster.
There's one box that you'd run back into your burning house to grab. It's the box filled with your videotapes, film reels, and photos. Those sentimental, meaningful, irreplaceable moments. Hi, I'm Nick Mako.
And I'm Adam Baselogger. We started Legacy Box over a decade ago so that we could help families save their memories from being destroyed by floods or fires.
And it's not just natural disasters, Adam. Every day, videotapes and photos are slowly fading away, decaying, neglected in closets and attics.
Digitizing your old media stops fading, and preserving those recordings means they are safe forever. It's like magic, converting your shoebox of memories into digital files, ready to watch and share.
It's the only way to ensure your legacy is safe for generations. That's why over 1 million families have already trusted Legacy Box. Legacy Box is simple and easy, it works, and is safe. We'd love to preserve your family's collection. Don't wait, the risk is too great.
Visit legacybox.com/radio to save 50%. That's legacybox.com/radio to get started and save. legacybox.com/radio.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
It is 5:53 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Shawn Farash taking you another hour up till 7 o'clock today. I got a bizarre story out of Texas, and I'd love to know what would have happened if this happened in Philadelphia. First of all, they would have booed the animal. That's number one, because that's, boo. That's like their native tongue. May 21st, police in Texas said an escaped kangaroo. Good on you, mate. Crikey, look at the size of that beauty. An escaped kangaroo was safely wrangled with assistance from a local game warden and Texas Parks and Wildlife personnel. The Elmendorf Police Department said on social media Wednesday, quote, "We officially have kangaroo on the loose," checked off the city bingo card. The Post said authorities are working together to locate the Australian marsupial and warned members of the public to keep a safe distance from the kangaroo. Police later updated the Post to report that the kangaroo had been found and taken into custody. No further hopping through the city limits is expected at this time, officials wrote. Police did not reveal where the kangaroo came from or how it managed to escape. By the way, fun fact, kangaroos are only in Texas. Kangaroos are legal to keep as pets in Texas without any special permits. So in Texas, you can own a kangaroo without any permits. But little old me here in Tennessee, I would like a raven. That's illegal. Shawn, why do you want a raven? Ravens are super cool, guys. They're smart. They can mimic. They understand transactions. I want a raven. Can't have one in Tennessee. But I could have a kangaroo in Texas. Speaking of Texas, one day after the kangaroo escaped, a loose llama was wrangled in Texas after what is going on in Texas right now? Authorities in Texas wrangled the llama on the loose just one day after an escaped kangaroo was captured in the same city. The Elmendorf Police Department, same place. Someone's just letting their animals out. Said that an officer was driving on FM 327 about 2:40 p.m. Tuesday when he came across a llama in the roadway. The officer temporarily shut down the road while he and city field staff worked to wrangle the llama. The llama was named Captain, safely reunited with its owner. The road was shut down for about an hour. The incident occurred just one day after police wrangled an escaped kangaroo in Elmendorf. They said, "Yes, we know this comes right after yesterday's kangaroo capture. We promise we are not begging for attention. Apparently, the animals just saw the post and wanted their turn." Oh, they got a good sense of humor. Justin, what do you think happens if a kangaroo escapes in Philadelphia? Like, what goes on?
Somebody's probably going to end up trying to ride it. I see all the time people just have weird animals that, like, during the Eagles parade, a bunch of people were riding horses, were riding... It wouldn't surprise me if somebody tries to ride it.
Ride the kangaroo. Okay.
Especially if it's in, like, Kensington.
Matt, a llama, like, walking down the streets of... I don't want to say Kensington because they would probably kill it. But something like, what if a llama was going up the stairs like Rocky? What do you think? Or a kangaroo hopping up those? Do you think that would be a big thing in Philly, or would they boo it?
My first instinct was that someone would definitely try to fight it on TikTok, like probably outside of a Wawa. I feel like that's the scenario that would play out.
You could get on Kale and Company Fight Club, kangaroo versus Philly resident. That would be interesting.
I also bet the PPA would somehow figure out a way to give it a ticket.
What is the PPA?
Philadelphia
Police
Authority.
Parking Authority.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, but they probably would. Kangaroo. Poor thing. All right, well, there it was, Texas. You had a kangaroo one day and a llama the next day. And it's perfectly legal to own a kangaroo. I have some friends in Texas. I'm going to be like, yo, you should have a kangaroo. Why? Because you can, and you don't need a permit. That's sick. Anyway, I want a raven. I love birds. Birds are cool. They poop everywhere, but we'll build an outdoor enclosure for this raven. But you can't have one in Tennessee. So there's that. All right, kangaroos in Texas, llamas in Texas, and Democrats in the United States of America. When we come back, I want to get to, we will get into Hakeem Jeffries and what the Republicans are up to. They're finally showing up during primary season. This has me very encouraged. I'm very excited about it. We'll tell you why. When we kick off the fourth and final hour here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, Shawn Farash taking you all the way till 7 o'clock on the best radio station in the nation, 855-839-1210. Unless you're Tyler from Nashville, you got to use the Southern accent if you're going to call back in. 855-839-1210 to chime in. We're back after this.
Hi, this is Dave Barlow from Barlow Buick GMC in Woodbury, New Jersey. Baseball is back, spring is here, and it's time to step up to the plate at Barlow. If you're looking for a grand slam this year, get behind the wheel of the GMC Sierra, built to knock expectations out of the park. Or ride in style with the Buick Envista. Whether you're heading to the ballpark or rounding the bases of your daily commute, the Envista delivers. Visit Barlow Buick GMC in Woodbury or shop 24/7 at barlowautogroup.com. Buick, exceptional by design. GMC, we are professional grade.
Hey, this is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. I've been talking about myself for all these years. Now it's time for you to hear from one of our great clients.
Investor Schooling lives up to the promises. Larry's a great teacher, teaches about the whole new approach to thinking about money. I've taken to heart many of the things that he's taught me, and my financial life has improved.
Come to Investor Schooling, and you could be just like Charlie and change your financial life. Go to investorschooling.com. We will see you Thursday.
For 125 years, the Philadelphia Orchestra's musicians have been the magic makers behind our legendary sound. Join us for these upcoming concerts.
Jazz icon Wynton Marsalis joins the Philadelphia Orchestra and the Jazz at Lincoln Center Orchestra for the world premiere of his new Liberty Symphony. The program also features Beethoven's Symphony No. 7, bursting with driving rhythm and energy. Don't miss this historic event. 3 performances only, May 28th, 30th, and 31st.
Get your tickets at philorg.org.
Recently, our company softball team lost the big game by 1 run. Then Dale tried to console us with the quote, "Winning isn't everything." Dale's a loser. I play to win, like early payout from Bet365. If my team goes up big, I get paid out instantly, even if they blow the lead later.
Sound familiar, Dale?
Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Pennsylvania. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy. Pretty much hands off, They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief. The best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. Optima Tax Relief. Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Inflationary pressures due in large part to the war against Iran. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
The Trump administration announces a new policy that requires foreigners in the U.S. to leave and apply for a green card from their home country. CBS's Cammie McCormick.
For over half a century, foreign nationals with legal status have been able to apply for and complete the entire process for permanent residence while in the U.S., including individuals married to U.S. citizens. This is the latest step by the administration, making legal immigration more difficult for foreigners already in this country. And critics say forcing people to return to their home countries to apply for a green card would result in many of them being barred from coming back.
A fire and shipyard explosion on New York's Staten Island injures at least 16 people, including 3 seriously. On this final day of CBS News Radio, a big applause to copy editors Kathleen Biggins and Todd Weiss. Thank you also to those on the radio desk, Bob Costantini and Lucy Taus. This is CBS News.
What is going on?
What's going on here?
How is this possible?
Great storytelling starts here.
Oh, come on.
Why?
It's time for 60 Minutes.
I move mountains for a living. Literally.
That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids. Rolaids' dual-active formula has calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. Yeah, you heard right. 2 actives for that powerful relief. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaid spells powerful relief. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Ready or not, summer is coming, and Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance is on now. Right now through May 25th, get up to 70% off everything home at Wayfair. Plus, score amazing doorbuster deals all sale long and surprise flash deals on Memorial Day. We're talking thousands of products at every style and budget. Now is the time to save big on must-haves for your patio, backyard, and beyond. These savings won't last, so don't wait. Shop Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance now through May 25th.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
CBS's Stacey Lynn reports a new candy from Trader Joe's is going viral for making you have to go.
The sweet and sour gummy worms are trending on TikTok.
Did you guys know Trader Joe's now has laxatives?
One serving contains an absurd amount of fiber.
I was talking to God at 3 a.m. last night, regretting every single gummy worm.
But while some people are not happy with the consequences from eating just 8 worms, others are calling them a cheap option to Ozempic.
I need to lose 5 pounds by Sunday of Memorial Day weekend. So this is my solution.
Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
From 221B Baker Street in central London to a cliffside waterfall in the Swiss Alps, generations of armchair detectives are celebrating International Sherlock Holmes Day. Fans today honor Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's birthday to pay tribute to the stories about the world's most famous detective that continues to shape popular culture. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses, or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code GO to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money, so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code GO to borrow up to $10,000. Use code GO to borrow up to $10,000.
It's a 4-hour Farash Friday. Turn the radio loud. Shawn is on 1210, firing up the crowd. Shawn Farash, he's got the greatest imitation, delivering Trump lines. He's the best in the nation. You know he's wearing flannel or a MAGA red tie on WPHT 3 to 7. Yeah, he's doing it live. It's a Farash Friday. Turn the volume up high. He'll inform and entertain you, and the hours fly by. Farash Friday. Now the whole city knows that the weekend starts when the last segment rolls. Nobody knows what the man's gonna hold. It's Farash Friday. It's Radio Gold.
There it is. The great Newman Price. Amazing work as always. Thank you, Newman Price, for these AI. These songs they're great. You know, we don't even have to say they're AI. That's Newman singing. Yeah, he's got a great voice, beautiful voice. He does a tremendous job. Okay, he does a fantastic job. Now we love it. Fourth and final hour here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. We have had a heck of a show today. I've had a good time. We are now in the fourth and final hour, the power hour here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. And I want to jump into something that makes me very, very happy. The GOP primary voters are rhino hunting. Now, before anyone goes nuts, hunting? Are you the violence? No. I'm talking about this in a political sense, okay? Everybody calm down. Hey, you see these? You see the pearls? Justin loved it.
You see the pearls? Stop clutching the pearls, Karen.
Okay? Loves it. This thing. I love that. And I can actually turn the Karen button. I could turn it into like the Jabba the Hutt button too. So, I mean, I can make it could be even, let me see if I can figure this out. Nope, that's not how we want to do it. There's a way that I can make it sound like I could be like Jabba, you know? So, anyway, GOP voters are stressed probably for the last, I would say, 6+ years of my life, ever since diving headfirst into political activism, is participation and engagement, being informed and being involved. When we were running the grassroots organization on Long Island, Loud Majority, the reason why that movement was so strong and so successful is that there was camaraderie, there was networks that were built and friendships that were built and a common cause, and we won a lot of seats, school board seats, library board seats, county executive seats, county legislative seats, district attorney offices that we'd flip, state senate offices that we'd flip, one of whom was Anna Kaplan, who referred to me as a terrorist, and so on and so forth, congressional, all of that. Okay? And it proved, and we called ourselves Loud Majority. I said, if there's no such thing as a silent majority, well, there is. Already, why are you staying silent? Why not speak up? Be visible. Show yourself. Let's go. So I had a tagline I used to use all the time called "Own the Process." Own the process, not trust the process. None of this. Own the process. Get involved and take it over. And I said, if we do that, then it will be very hard for us to lose. If there's anything that Republican primary vote or Republican voters tend to do, it's we show up, presidential election, we're going to do this, it'll be great. And then, you know, we fall by the wayside in primary seasons and midterm seasons and off-year elections, and it hurts. It hurts to watch that. And so for the last 6 years, I mean, on my show and everywhere, come on, let's just lock in, get involved, get engaged, get addicted to winning. Remember how good it felt in 2024? Let's make it, let's keep living that feeling. Let's keep winning elections. Let's keep piling on. Let's keep adding to our score. Let's run up the score, instead of be happy with where we currently sit at this point in time in the game. A lot of people who are trying to pull this garbage online, this psyop, MAGA is dead. No, it ain't. Not even close. As a matter of fact, this is probably one of the most significant signs of life that I've seen ever since MAGA had started. I can't remember, aside from a few blips in 2022, Liz Cheney and a few others, where you had this robust of this type of participation in primary. Important. I know so many people who are, oh, I'm frustrated with the GOP. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do in the midterms. Stop that. Stop that. The time to take out your frustration on what you may deem inadequate representation is during the primary. All right? Thomas Massey, he spent 14 years in Congress. It's a long time. That's a long time. Okay? 7 terms. It's a long time in Congress. He delivered no results for Kentucky's 4th Congressional District. That's not, Israel. No. I don't want to talk about Israel. I want to talk about Kentucky. I want to talk about his district. What has he accomplished for his district? The Epstein files. Releasing, and I'm not saying it's not important. I like transparency. Disclose it. Fine. You're not going to get me fighting that. How does getting the Epstein files released benefit Kentucky's 4th congressional district? How does it impact affordability? How does it impact inflation? How does it bring jobs into the district? How does it bring any sort of investments into the district? The answer is it doesn't. That's not to say it's not important. That's not to say that's something that Kentucky's 4th congressional district and voters over there didn't want, because a lot of people wanted it. The majority of the country wanted that disclosure. Fine. The time to on the Republican Party is during the primaries. I said this Wednesday morning. Or it might have been yesterday morning. I'm not sure. My days are kind of blending together. If Thomas Massie had won, I would have been unhappy. Okay, it would have made me unhappy because I don't like the guy. I think he's a fraud, etc. But you would not have caught me on any show, this show, my show, anybody else's show, any hits anywhere. You would not have called vote Democrat and get him out at all costs. Because while Massie is annoying and he's a no on a lot of things, and he votes with the Democrats, 25% of the time or so. Contrast that to a Democrat winning that seat, voting with the Democrats 100% of the time. What's better? Someone who votes with the Democrats a quarter of the time or all the time? A quarter of the time. You vote for Massie and you work on taking him out the following year that he's up for primary. Republican voters are finally doing this. They're finally showing up in primary season. For years, it has been empty threat after empty threat. Oh, you sold us out. We're going to primary you. And then primary season rolls around and it's right? You're asleep at the wheel. No, this cycle has not been that way. Indiana, voters clean house. 6 out of 7 Senate rhinos in the state Senate who refused to embark on this redistricting fight have been primaried and have lost. That's massive at the state level. In Louisiana, who voted to convict President Trump during his second impeachment hoax, the January 6th hoax, and has been a constant thorn in Trump's side. Listen to this stat, folks. Became the first incumbent U.S. senator to lose in 14 years. Do you understand how significant that is? Bill Cassidy is the first incumbent United States senator to lose a primary in 14 years. Louisiana made that happen. In part with Trump's endorsement as well. In Kentucky, we've talked about this. Thomas Massie, 10 points. He lost by 10 points. After being a thorn in Trump's side, choosing open borders and some of these transgender for everybody stances, and losing the endorsement to former Navy SEAL Ed Galrine. In Texas, John Cornyn, his opponent, get endorsed by President Trump. John Cornyn has been one of these weak-kneed, squishy U.S. senators. Now, think about what I just said to you about Bill Cassidy, right? Bill Cassidy was the first U.S. senator, incumbent U.S. senator, to lose a primary in 14 years. A good chance. It's a near certainty, as a matter of fact. that John Cornyn loses his primary too. That would be, it has not happened once in 14 years. It will have happened twice in 2 weeks. Think about that. Think about that. Finally, Republican voters have said, I've had it with the inadequate representation. I've had it. Why do I love primaries so much? Why? Because this is really where the iron, right? This is where you find out where the party is going. This is where you find out whose ideas are the most popular in the primary. This is where you find out which candidates can survive these intra-party contests. But even more so than that, this is where healthy habits are formed. What do I mean by healthy habits? What I mean by that is you have to make a choice. I'm going to participate in this primary. And then you make that choice. You have a candidate. You go vote for him or her, whomever it may be. Just like, if you want to change your life, fitness, health, diet, whatever, you have to make a conscious decision. I'm going to do X and then execute on that, right? For a long time, we have made the decision we need to primary so-and-so, but then we don't. Now we're doing it. We're following through on those threats. What does that do? That means anybody else, like a John Thune, who is watching what's taking place in Indiana, what took place in Kentucky, what took place in Louisiana, what's about to take place in Texas, and so on and so forth, they're looking at that going, you know what? These threats of primary may not be empty threats anymore. I better get my sugar honey iced tea together, or I'm going to be out of a job. It is so important that we encourage our Republican friends to participate in primaries. That is where healthy habits are formed. Okay? Somebody who votes in a primary is almost 100% certain to be voting in that general election. So follow me here. The more people we get to vote in primaries, the more people we, by default, get to vote in general elections. It's kind of like how Pressler has approached it with voter registration. Like if you register somebody to vote, they're more likely to actually vote on election day, right? Well, take it a step further. You've registered this person to vote. Now you're getting them out to vote in the primary. Once they're voting in the primaries, they're now getting used to voting and knowing when their elections are. They're going out and they're voting in the general. And you don't have to worry so much about turning that person out because they've formed those healthy habits to always be informed and always be aware of when there's an election. The more engaged, the more involved, the more immersed we are in the process, the better the representation will become. It is not going to happen overnight. But our friend Chad Caton, he's been down in South Carolina putting all those Senate rhinos in the Senate Judiciary Committee down there and the state Senate down there on notice. We're here. We're watching. And if you don't do what we want us to do, what we want you to do, it's going to be Indiana. It's going to be Louisiana. It's going to be Kentucky. It's going to be Texas. You are not, just because you're an incumbent, you are not immune to losing in the primaries. Not anymore. Not anymore. So this type of thing that we're witnessing here, that we've seen now in those states that I had mentioned, Indiana, Louisiana, Kentucky, Texas, and so on and so forth, is so exciting for me because for the last 6 years, after having dove headfirst into activism, this has been one of my biggest passions is the primary. I love the primary. It is good to test each other. It is good to debate ideas. It is healthy to have a party where there are primaries. Yes, I understand that some primaries get nasty And I wish that wasn't the case, but that's politics. That's the nature of the beast. I would rather have in Georgia, for example, Mike Collins mobilizing his voters in a primary and in a runoff, because they're voting for him in a primary. They're voting for him in a runoff. They will be there in the general. Where you think about John Ossoff, who didn't have a primary, are his voters a little more apathetic? They're not used to forming those healthy habits. It's not part of their daily routine to wonder if there's an election to vote in this month. You see what I'm saying? Apathy has been the Republican Party's biggest enemy. The Democrats come second. I truly believe there are more of us than there are of them. All we've got to do is show up. And the excuse is, well, if I show up in the general, what if I vote for a rhino? Well, that's why you have to get involved in the primaries, folks. Because the primary is where you decide whether a rhino or somebody else is going to be your candidate, your party's candidate in the general election. And sometimes it doesn't go your way. And sometimes you do have to hold your nose and vote for somebody who you don't like. Just as I said at the beginning of this segment, had Thomas Massie won on Tuesday night, I would have said, look, I'm not happy with the result, but he's still better than a Democrat. He only votes with the Democrats 25% of the time, whereas a Democrat would vote with the Democrats 100% of the time. He occupies the seat as a Republican, and every quote-unquote Republican-held seat matters. Now, thankfully, he lost, okay? But the point of the matter is, if you want better representation, then you have to be visible. You have to be vocal. Your public servants have to know you're watching them. Your public servants have to feel like, any kid, stocking shelves in a supermarket's going to feel with his boss standing over his shoulder, making sure he's doing everything right. They've got to feel that pressure. And I think what this has proven, this new, mentality of rhino hunting, and of course we say this in the political sense, what this has proven is that it's no longer an empty threat. It's no longer, we're going to primary you, we'll see you at the polls. And then primary season comes around, and the incumbent holds on. 6 incumbents in Indiana, an incumbent in Louisiana, the first incumbent U.S. senator to lose in a primary in 14 years, and a 14-year incumbent in Kentucky, another longtime entrenched establishment incumbent about to lose in Texas to Ken Paxton. Get out and vote May 26th in the runoff. It's the day after Memorial Day. Don't forget. It's going to make it 2 incumbent U.S. senators losing primaries over the course of 2 weeks. Something that hasn't happened in 14 years. Now, if MAGA was truly dead, this wouldn't be happening. And I know it's just a primary, and you're going to need independents, and you're going to need moderates, and you're going to need a bigger coalition to win in these general elections. But what this means is the base is motivated, the base is informed, the base is engaged, and the base is finally making a meaningful difference in the primary cycle, which is just as important as these general elections. Now, yes, in the general elections, you have to defeat Democrats. You're not defeating other Republicans with different ideas. But you want, in that general election, to know that when you're filling out that ballot, you're filling out that ballot for a MAGA Republican that's going to the United States House of Representatives or going to the Senate, and is going to be a reliable ally to move the agenda that we all voted for in 2024, to move that agenda forward. This has me so fired up. I have been waiting a long time for this, and I know there are a lot of other people who have been waiting even longer. Don't let anybody tell you MAGA's dead. Don't let anybody pull that BS psyop on you, doing Hakeem Jeffries' job for him. What do I mean by that? We'll get to that on the other side of this break. Shawn Farash on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. We're taking you all the way to 7 o'clock, otherwise known as Pork Chop O'Clock here. I'm going to be making a nice, beautiful
Give me what you got for a pork chop.
There it is. A nice, beautiful pork chop, pork shoulder on the Blackstone. We'll be right back on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT 855-839-1210 if you want to chime in. After this break, we'll talk about Hakeem Jeffries and his game plan and how that relates to the online PSYOP with the Doomers and all these people who are trying to demoralize our base by saying that it's dead. It's not dead. It's alive and well. We'll have that and more when we come back on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Piazza Auto Group Studios, experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Now we're moving into summer, and it's time we find out how brutal the winter weather was to our home. Hey, it's Rich Izzioli. If you're looking for a contractor that can help you with repairs during this time, or maybe you want to get a jump on those renovations, go with my guys, Emmons. They deliver protection, peace of mind, and true craftsmanship. That's why Emmons has always been my go-to contractor for over 10 years in 2 different homes, and they even just remodeled our kids' bathroom. Plus, you're going to get American-made products, American-made roofing products to lifetime warranted Owens Corning roofs built to handle severe weather, siding that elevates and insulates your home, and made in America, windows and doors that blend style and performance, made in America. Emmons has you covered every step of the way. So go to emmonsroofing.com, upgrade your home with confidence, make sure you tell them I sent you, and always go with the company that I go with because I trust them and they've delivered for me each and every time in 2 different homes. That's Emmons Roofing, emmonsroofing.com. Hey, it's Rich Izzioli. My friends at Bob's Little Sports Shop, they want to help you exercise your Second Amendment rights safely and confidently. Family owned and operated for more than 60 years. They'll help you from the permit application to choosing the right firearm for you. Ladies, sign up now for Bob's all-female shoot. Sunday, June 7th at 2 p.m. No firearms ID card or experience needed. Visit bobslittle.sportshop.com. It's a great event and a great place. This ad sponsored by Bob's Little Sports Shop.
Living here is about more than just the headlines. It's the new restaurant opening in Fishtown. It's the playoff energy at the bank. It's the festivals that make your neighborhood feel like home.
KYW News Radio brings you the pulse of the Delaware Valley. From service journalism that solves problems to stories that celebrate our culture, we cover the life you're actually living.
Authentic, local, factual. KYW News Radio, Philadelphia's most trusted news source.
D&K Appliances is a family-owned and operated business for 3 generations located in Newtown Square and Flowertown. D&K Appliances offers one-stop shopping, providing delivery, installation, and service of top brands like GE, Thermador, Wolf, Bosch, Speed Queen, KitchenAid, and Whirlpool for your kitchen or laundry. D&K Appliance sales associates are industry experts, supporting customers every step of the way. Visit D&K Appliances, the dependable difference. Newtown Square and Flowertown showrooms, or visit DKappliances.com.
With American Heritage Credit Union, certificates and IRA savings products come in a variety of terms, like a 36-month certificate at 3.81% APY or a 12-month IRA certificate at 3.91% APY. For more flexibility, consider our high-yield savings account with an APY of 3.10%. Visit AmericanHeritageCU.org/savings to learn more. Insured by the NCUA, additional share insurance provided by ESI. Not a member? Join today.
The YMCA is just a starting line, for the true self blooms only when we find our purpose, what makes us tick below the surface. Y is the before work hustle, an after school home, a section of my block, a corner to call my own. With my Y, I stand strong, seen and supported all along. It's a million faces in a mirror, and everyone belongs. Find your Y. Join today at ymca.org for a better us.
Spring is here, and that means wind, rain, and roofing problems. When it comes to protecting your home, go with the real deal. Impriano Roofing, siding, windows, and doors. Family owned and operated for 53 years. One of the only roofing companies still run by the original family. They're the experts in the industry. That's experience, that's integrity, that's the real deal. Call 610-644-4444 for your free estimate today. The best homes have an Impriano roof.
My dad passed away unexpectedly. Of course, it was awful in every way, but we are very grateful that he had life insurance. So even after he was gone, he was still able to provide for us. And that's why I have life insurance for my family. Ethos.com. They make it fast and easy to get covered. It's 100% online. You get a quote in seconds, and you can apply in minutes. You get covered the same day.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/protect. That's ethos.com/protect. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required. Rates may vary.
If you're struggling to hear conversations, TV, or the people you love, now there's an easier, more affordable solution without spending thousands. Audion Hearing makes high-quality, rechargeable hearing aids starting at just $98 with free shipping and dedicated one-on-one support in the comfort of your own home. No doctor's offices, no pressure. Clearer hearing delivered right to your door. Join over 1 million happy customers hearing life more clearly. Visit audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Broadcasting live from the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
It is 6:34 on this Memorial Day weekend, Friday, Farash Friday, as they have so generously branded it. Newman Price with his amazing music and intros, and that's always fun. I love the fact that, like I said, I love the fact that the pork chops have become like a national phenomenon. It went from people getting mad that I always posted pictures of pork chops and broccoli to people getting mad when I don't post the pictures. Like, where's the pork chop? What happened to your pork chops, man? I'm not eating them, Dad. Roast beef instead, okay? I will be having pork chop tonight, though. Pork shoulder. Beautiful pork chop. Mwah! So nice. You know, we talked about the primary, and that's my favorite. I don't know if it came through or not, but I am so passionate about us participating in primaries and forming those healthy habits and getting ourselves together to move forward. So I am going to hereby declare that the top story of the day. And the top story of the day, voting in your primaries. Beautiful. Top story of the day is sponsored by Veneria Dental. It is not about cost. It is about care and commitment to dental excellence. Schedule your appointment with Dr. Mike today. Get the level of care that you deserve. Call 856-786-2020, 856-786-2020, or visit veneriadental.com. Thank you for sponsoring the top story of the day. Let us move into, here's a crazy one. You know, the Democrats they're just flipped out people. Did you guys and gals hear about this one? This Texas Democrat, Maureen, what's her name? Maureen Galindo? Is that her name? Let me see. Maureen, where is it? Yes, Maureen Galindo. Look at that. Memory, sharp as a tack.
I no more think of myself as being as old as I am than fly.
That's right. Memory, sharp as a tack. Texas Democrat now blaming Democrats? Huh? For what she said about American Zionists? You guys hear about this in Texas? What is going on in Texas? You've got this weirdo James Tallarico, a vegan who believes that Jesus and God are non-binary and that there's 6 different genders. Yeah, that's going to win in Texas. You could have stopped that vegan. You got kangaroos on the loose. You've got llamas on the loose. You've got this woman now threatening to turn ICE detention centers into internment camps for American Zionists. A Democrat congressional candidate in San Antonio wants to turn an ICE detention center into a prison for American Zionists, and she has a runoff election in 1 week. Maureen Galindo, running to represent Texas's newly redrawn 35th congressional district, is facing a cascade of condemnation after a series of social media posts in which she called for Zionists to be imprisoned and accused Jewish quote-unquote Zionists of controlling all politicians and the media, and declared that her runoff opponent should be tried for treason. The problem is she's not just saying that to say it. She's saying that because she means it. This infection, this cancer that has spread on the left and on the quote-unquote right is so dangerous. You know where this leads. We've seen it before. If you don't learn from history, you repeat it. We've seen this before. She's doubling down on this now and blaming other Democrats for it. The Democrat House candidate under fire for recommending imprisonment for American Zionists blamed journalists and her own party for allegedly mischaracterizing her as wanting to create a holding center for American Zionists and a purported castration facility. In an Instagram post last week, South Texas sex therapist Maureen Galindo proposed legislation that would repurpose a federal detention facility to imprison American Zionists. In other posts, she also accused her Democratic runoff challenger, Bexar County Sheriff's Office Johnny Garcia, of being paid to put, quote, Jews and Mexicans in concentration camps via Zionist trafficking. What are we doing? Can these Democrats get a hold of, look, and this is the difference between us and them. Massey wasn't this extreme. Okay? He wasn't this extreme. Not even close, actually. But we told them, get the F out of the tent. This is not your party. Go do that on the left with Maureen Galindo. She blamed journalists for mischaracterizing her comments. What is there to be mischaracterized? You said that you want that most pedophiles are Zionists anyway. Do you know what a Zionist is? Somebody who believes the Jews have a right to their homeland in the land of Israel. That's all a Zionist is. They've turned it into some really nasty thing. Where it's like, oh, you don't want to be called a Zionist. Like, Zionist is the new racist. And that's going to fade. That'll wane, the whole 9 yards. But this is what the Democrats are doing. This is what happens when you don't self-regulate, when you don't police your own, when you don't take care of your own tent. We call ourselves the big tent because we are the big tent. We will allow a lot of people to walk into the tent. But the minute I see somebody walking into the tent and dropping turds in the punch bowl, I want them out of the tent because I don't want turds in my punch bowl. Got it? When you don't self-regulate and when you don't police your own, you wind up with James Tallarico, who has said God is non-binary. Graham Plattner, who has a Nazi tattoo. He has a Nazi tattoo. And there's apparently another story about him that he likes to, how should I describe this? Yeah. He apparently, allegedly, like is a fan of honking his hedgehog in public spaces. You know what I mean? Thank you, Mo. And people like Maureen Galindo, who wants to put American Zionists in camps. This is what happens when you don't self-regulate. Those people take power. Bring it back to last segment. If we don't get involved and we don't show up. Hakeem Jeffries, you sounded like Bane from Batman. I will break you. That was horrible. Hakeem Jeffries, let's get cut 35 ready, says he wants to break the spirit of Republican voters who support President Trump. Let's roll cut 35.
I guess part of how we as House Democrats view this moment, either MAGA extremists are going to break the country or we're going to break them. And our goal is to break them. We will defeat them. We have to beat them electorally, and then we have to break their spirit because of the extremism that's being unleashed on the American people. That's completely and totally unacceptable.
Dollar-Stow, that's Dollar-Stow Obama.
Cock-a-doodle-doo.
That's not actually Barack Obama. That was somebody who does a great Obama impersonation and did Obama as a rooster, which is
cock-a-doodle-doo.
I just get a kick out of that. Dollar-Stow says he wants to break our spirit. Now do you understand? Do you get it? Why I've been calling out the doomers and the Nothing is Happening Brigade and all these people who are just negative all the time. Now, on the flip side of that, just to be fair, I think people who are positive all the time are also not being realistic. I'd rather be around somebody who's positive about the administration, though, because at least you can motivate people that way. You will demoralize people the other way. And that is exactly what Hakeem Jeffries said he wants to do. He said he wants to break our spirit. Do not allow this fake, bot-driven, artificially manipulated demoralization psyop to work on you. There is a lot to be proud of. There's also a lot that still needs to get done. I'm not going to tell you that this entire administration has been perfect. I'm not going to tell you that there aren't things. Frank in Burlington called not too long ago. We both expressed frustration with how long this Iran thing has been lingering for. And that's okay. It's healthy to do that. What it's not healthy to do is to say, I'm frustrated with, here we go. We're going to bring out the Karen button. I'm frustrated with how long the Iran thing has been lingering. So
I'm staying home, clutching my pearls, and I'm not voting in the midterms.
Well, then you wind up with Maureen Galindo and James Tallarico and Graham Nazi Tattoo honking the hedgehog in public Plattner and Democrats running your country. You can't have that. Don't let Hakeem Jeffries do none of that. He wants to break our spirits. Bring it on, Dollar Stowe. Bring it on. Don't do the work for him. Don't do the work for him. Texas Democrat Maureen Galindo. You know what? Why don't we roll that clip? Let's just roll. Let's show you what she's been saying. Go ahead. Let's roll Maureen Galindo.
I'm sorry to all journalists if I missed your email or social media message. It got lost in a wave of hundreds of death threats and the most vile things.
She's the victim now.
I'm in Texas. I know MAGA. This is worse than MAGA. That's because MAGA and Zionism is religious overtaking your government. Okay, but this is the message I'm just sending out in bulk. I never said I want Jews in internment camps. Literally never said it. I said I want to close all detention centers, all ICE detention centers, and put billionaire American Zionists who are funding the genocidal prison systems involved in trafficking into prison. If they committed a crime, do they not belong in prison? The internment camps comment was made up by a journalist here who literally wants me dead. Who literally, I believe, wants me dead. The DCCC coordinated all this because they want their billionaire Zionist-backed cop candidate. The cop, the PR guy for the deadliest jail in all of Texas. And I'm getting comments, I'm getting messages from people who've been there too. And I'm against all internment camps and would like to see them all shut down ASAP, starting with the many in South Texas. And also this PAC that's spending a whole bunch of money on my campaign, I literally know nothing about it. I know nothing about it. I just keep continuing my grassroots efforts as I've been doing, maintaining my autonomy, my independence. This is why they're going after me so hard. Wonderful. Because I don't.
She's a victim, don't you know? Anybody. She's a victim. Give me a break. Just give me a break. And it's, of course, it's somebody else's fault because you opened your mouth. Of course, it's somebody else's fault, right? These are the people that we cannot allow to take power in this country. She's not alone. This is why Gaza is not mentioned in the 2024 autopsy report. Because, if you mention Gaza and you say that it was a bad issue, you're owned by the Zionists, don't you know? I'm telling you guys, that's what happens when you don't self-regulate. That is what happens when you don't self-regulate. It is very important to stay engaged, stay involved, keep sharpening that iron. All right. When we come back, we're going to wrap up the fourth and final hour and let you drift away into what is going to be, I'm sure, a very nice Memorial Day weekend for everyone. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back here on the other side of this break to wrap up this fourth and final hour, this power hour. And don't forget, Memorial Day morning, you need something to listen to. We start at 6 a.m., right, Greg? Yes. I'll be on 6 to 10 Monday morning. But you still got a little bit more to go, so keep it locked right there. We'll be right back on the other side of this break to wrap up what has been, I don't know, for me, a lot of fun today. On Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, Shawn Farash taking you all the way up till 7. We're back after this.
It's Tri-County Auto time with new May deals on Toyotas and Jeeps. Hey, it's Rich Zioli. The Memorial Day sales event is going on now at Tri-County Toyota. Take advantage of special savings across their lineup, like a new 2026 Toyota Tacoma with 2.99% APR financing. Ask about their veteran specials. They love veterans at Tri-County. It's their way of saying thank you to those who served our country. Now, if you're ready for your next Jeep, step into a new 2026 Jeep Wrangler with legendary capability. Now leasing for just $392 a month during the Declaration of Deals sales event. Tri-County Jeep has over 25 Jeep Grand Cherokees packed full of savings. Stop by during the Declaration of Deals event and see my great friends over at Tri-County. Look for the gigantic American flag and go on their website at tricounty.com to see all the great specials. King of Prussia, Limerick, Jersey, Philly, the main line, easy to get to from wherever you are. Tricounty.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Debt. We can all get in a bit too deep. Members of the NFCC, the National Foundation for Credit Counseling, can help you put debt in its place.
Credit cards took charge of my financial life. An NFCC credit counselor helped me get back in control. I took charge of my debt.
Student loan debt followed me wherever I went. My NFCC financial advocate taught me all I needed to know. I mastered my student loan debt.
We wanted to buy our first home, but weren't sure if we were mortgage ready. Our NFCC housing counselor helped us make a plan. We're on a path to our first home.
NFCC member agencies serve all 50 states and Puerto Rico. Convenient, helpful, knowledgeable, nonprofit. Financial advocates there for you.
We put debt in its place.
Be one of 5 million people to beat debt by 2020. Connect with an NFCC certified credit counselor at your local member agency today. Go to nfcc.org/stopdebt or call 877-410-6322.
Spring is here, and so are the spring specials at Suburban Marble and Granite. Now is the perfect time to transform your home with premium stone and quality craftsmanship at up to 50% off. As they bring in more inventory, select styles and materials are available at incredible savings while supplies last. Don't miss this opportunity to upgrade your kitchen, bathroom, outdoor space, or custom project with stunning stone and expert installation. Take advantage of these limited time savings before they're gone. Suburban Marble and Granite. Endless possibilities, spectacular results. Visit suburbanmarble.com today.
If your kitchen has been on your to-do list for years, Kitchen Magic has news for you. This May is the month to finally do it. We're offering up to 30% off kitchen renovations, plus flexible financing designed to fit any budget. Kitchen Magic has been family-owned and operated right here in Nazareth since 1979, and our team is ready to bring your dream kitchen to life. Don't wait another year. Visit kitchenmagic.com and let's get started.
You can now tune in to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the iHeartRadio app.
They know what's up. That's right. Oh, yeah. It is a Freebird Farish Friday as we wrap it up on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Man, this song just hits different ever since we beat those little Canadian sissies. Gotta be nice. We're on the radio. It should be like, there should be like an exception with the FCC where, like, if you're using profanity but you're doing it directed at Canada, it's allowed, especially in the hockey arena. Yes, it is a Freebird Farash Friday. We love it here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT with you for the remaining minutes here, this 4-hour marathon. A lot of fun. It went by pretty quickly, and we'll be doing another 4 hours Monday morning, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m., filling in for all of Kale and Company. And then, of course, later this week on Thursday, the Families Beyond the Badge, the remote broadcast from the FOP Lodge in South Berlin, and then a full Farash Friday in studio on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. So it is going to be a fun week for yours truly, and hopefully for you, the audience, as well. I do hope you enjoy it. Hope you have a good time every time they give me the opportunity to fill in here. I know I do. All right. Before we go, we talked about the Republican voters finally participating in primaries, and I said maybe John Thune's taking notice, or maybe he's not. Because, rather than getting the Customs and Border Protection bill and the ICE bill passed through the Senate, he just decided, let's just take another vacation. That must be nice, right? You're a public servant and you just choose not to serve the public? You've got a piece of legislation that has 80% approval, the Save America Act, and you're just not passing it. It must be nice. I could imagine, like, back when I worked in the paint store, if a customer was like, hey, can you mix me this color? And I said, nope. Isn't it your job to mix me that? Yeah, it is. So do it. No. Imagine walking into like a pizza joint. Yeah, can I have a large pie? No, you can't. What do you mean I can't? No, I'm not. No, you can't. I'm not doing it. What? It's like, Greg comes to me, can you fill in on this thing? Yeah, sure. And I come on the air and I just sit there and don't talk. I just go, hold my breath the whole time. What? Must be nice. Man, these politicians are so spoiled. They're so spoiled. We got to do something about it. Keep participating in the process, folks. Keep participating in every phase of the process. All right, we're going to wrap up, ladies and gentlemen. And this weekend is Memorial Day weekend. Okay? And I would like to leave you with this. I want you to remember what this weekend is all about. Okay? Not that you can't have fun. It's not that everything, has to be, that there's no drinking. You can't go to your barbecues. No. Spend time with your family. Spend time with your friends. But remember why we have Monday off. Right? Remember that. Take a moment to reflect on and remember those who gave the ultimate sacrifice in defense of the greatest nation in the world. This weekend is about more than car sales. This weekend is about more than, price markdowns online, last minute deals. It's about more than just a long weekend. I remember when Kamala Harris did that. Oh, we're going to have this long weekend, Memorial Day. This weekend is about taking some time to remember those who fell in defense of our great country. It's about more than the unofficial start of summer. It's about more than, grilling burgers. You can do all those things, but please, take some time this weekend to remember why we have the freedom to do those things. Why we continue to live in the greatest country in the world. Why there are so many men and women who have signed on the dotted line to put their lives on the line for this place that we call home. Have a happy, a healthy, and a safe Memorial Day. Honor the fallen. Have a great time with your friends and family. I will see you Monday morning, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern time. We start at 6 a.m. Not as good as Greg, but it's close. I'll see you Monday morning. Happy, healthy, and safe weekend. God bless you. God bless America. And thank you for your attention to this matter.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use